me, because he's a player who's got pace, he's got skill, and we talked to him before the game about some of the problems they've had scoring.
If we're going to, you know, open San Diego up and really create some good scoring chances, then we've really got to come through from the back, meaning the defenders have got to take some chances, the midfield players have got to come in and really crash the box. I think what's been happening, you know, San Diego are a good team transition-wise, and I think that our players are a bit apprehensive to go in there into their penalty box, because they've been getting so many 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, and you know, they're quite lethal when they do that. But we're 3-0, with 3 games down. I think it's time to take some chances now and see if we can come out on top and get the run of the ball.
And while Cleveland's big guns have struggled in the first 3 games of the series, not so for San Diego. The players that they've been counting on, Seamus, have really come through for them.
And they've had to count on them all the more because Branko Segota has been out of this series, and so Hugo Perez in particular has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. Well, he has risen to that challenge and has done very well. Oddly enough, not getting something in Game 3, but doing very well. Fernando Clavillo has been immense, however, and I talked to him before the game about how they use him in attacking.
Well, I think the San Diego soccer is very successful, you know, in counter-attacking from the back. Personally, Fernando Clavijo, I think my speed is helping me, you know, to break from the back and do things that I think other teams are not able to. The speed and the time when to go forward, you know, and I would say myself to keep all the time fresh on the field. You know, when you're tired, you make a lot of mistakes, you know, able to break forward full speed, and that's why sometimes I stay for 30 or 1 minute on the field. And when I have a chance, I go forward, and it's very difficult for some of the players who are there to catch up with me. I think, you know, that's why San Diego is very successful doing that.
We've got Game 4 of the Championship Series coming up from the Richfield Coliseum. Game number 1, a close one, it went into overtime. Same with Game 3. Game 2 was a runaway for San Diego. We'll see what gives next when we come back for the kickoff. The guys calling the shots, the referees, being sponsored by Elite's Performance Footwear, Gino DiPolito, Essie Baharmist, and Tom Gordon getting the assignment for game number 4. And Elite's Performance Footwear, proud to be a sponsor of the Major Indoor Soccer League. Zoli the goalie, 8-2 in the playoffs, a 3.12 goals against average. He has been on fire since the regular season started and has gone and been a continuously great goalkeeper. The other side, P.J. Johns has played in, this will be his 29th consecutive game. 7-5 is his record, and his goals against average, as you saw, 3.45. Underway, game 4, Perez around the boards. It was just wide of the outstretched reach of P.J. Johns. Now it's Kitson in the corner. Clavijo off the boards. Kevin Crow back for it. Same San Diego lineup as the other night, but for the Force, some changes, and we'll talk about those in a moment as Perez looks for it. Hugo Perez juggles it, plays it into the middle area. Kitson will get it. Brian Bliss will dress tonight for the first time in the overall playoffs, and obviously first time in the championship series. Ali Kazumeni will also see some action. He still has a groin pull, but they've got him in there trying to win tonight's game. And they are also dressing one other player as Desmond Armstrong takes it to the corner. And Zoltan Totazir. They're dressing Rui Felguera, and they're going with one goalkeeper, P.J. Johns, no backup. John Beretta has been the backup goalkeeper, so a gamble, but one that I think is a sound one for Timo Liakoski of the Cleveland Force as P.J. Johns kicks it up for Kitson. Dougherty settling it down to the neutral zone. Plays it back now to Fernandez, who's had one heck of a series. Now Brian Quinn to Mocallis. He's got some room. Gus Mocallis off the boards. Dougherty in too deep. Hoskovy will pick it up. Up for Kitson. Kitson in a collision there with Mocallis, and a whistle sounds and a foul called on San Diego. First foul of the game, 13:43 to go in the opening quarter, and it's scoreless. Walt Schmetzer to Andy Schmetzer and their dad Walt Sr. here tonight watching the game for the first time in the championship series. Brian Schmetzer not dressed because of the same injury to that San Diego defender. Here's a 3-on-4. Dougherty cuts to the outside, off the boards, quick shot, score, Juan Hermes, and San Diego will take an early 1-0 lead, and that will do nothing but help the confidence that San Diego already comes into this game with.
Well, a misunderstanding in the attacking end for the Force caused all that problem. Pasquale De Luca going deep and then having to make a very late retreating run, as did, you see, Hoskovy, both of them having to come back. But Dougherty really in charge here, putting the ball in. And Hermes coming in between the Schmetzer boys. Twins, and they really are a little bit lax, I think, here. Let's see the ball come off the boards here. They look to be in charge, but not so, as Hermes gets in between them both and scores. So that's a bit of a bad break indeed, but good opportunism immediately by the San Diego Sockers, and all of a sudden they're up by a goal.
Hermes will get credit for the goal, and San Diego takes the 1-0 lead. Hermes' 13th goal of the playoffs, one behind Goossens for the league lead. Goossens of the Comets. Craig Allen on the restart on the foul from San Diego. So Cleveland trailing in the box for Valentine. Lost it. Allen off the crossbar. Another great chance for the Force, and they just don't finish it off the right wing boards. Ladouceur after it. P.J. Johns out of his goal area. Off the boards for Walt Schmetzer. A 1-0 lead for San Diego, and Walt Schmetzer gives it up to Valentine. Carl Valentine slowing it down in the neutral zone. Juli Veee on for the Sockers, and Brian Quinn, who knows only one speed, full speed ahead out there for San Diego. Right side Valentine against Fernandez. Back out for Allen. Now Mepham broken up. Brian Quinn bothered by Mepham. And now it's taken right back. Dennis Mepham, who's been quiet in the championship series, came in with 4 goals, no assists, and is at that same point in this, the 4th game of the championship.
Well, that chance opportunity for Craig Allen a minute ago looked like the kind of ball, JP, that he was missing the other night, but that he's put away so often in the season. So that's not a heartening opening for Cleveland after, in addition to that, giving up an early goal.
Carl Valentine to John Stomeyer. Ahead on the left wing boards for Craig Allen. Allen picked up by Crow. Craig Allen brings it back. Backheels it off. Andy Schmetzer in the box. Broken up. Nice read by Brian Quinn. He and Clavillo and Andy Schmetzer go after it. Kicked away once, twice. Andy Schmetzer, good work to keep it. Knocked away again, and there's Quinn battling with Desmond Armstrong. Valentine takes it. Trying to go forward, but Crow, like a rock, steady at the back and clears it out. San Diego scoring the only goal of the game thus far on the first shot on goal. Here's a loose one after Toth knocked it down. They also did that in game 3, scored on their first shot. Here could be a 2-on-1. But Quinn did not get a good ball from Crow, and now the numbers are back for Cleveland. Although they were on the goal that was scored, it was a 3-on-4 break, actually. This is Perez over the line. Hugo Perez. Bringing it to the middle of the field. Now San Diego slows it down, 11:07 to play, first quarter. A 1-0 San Diego lead. Cleveland has not led in this championship series since the first goal that was scored in San Diego in game number 1. And that was it. Right side, Hermes in the overlap. Right in, and it was blocked. I believe Armstrong got a piece of that rather than P.J. Johns. And it'll be a corner kick coming up when we return. But it's the San Diego Sockers. They only needed the 1 shot to go ahead. Hermes, 13th of the year from Dougherty. There are some interesting things Ron Newman has to say about his San Diego Sockers. He doesn't want to let down, and he told me before this game started that this is the kind of a game where he really will have to motivate the Sockers. He doesn't want them to be overconfident. He respects Cleveland's side. Off the post, and now Hermes sends one in that goes wide. San Diego almost scored right there. You could see that San Diego came in. You could see him at the hotel today, and on their way in here, warm-ups, a very confident side. But they still know that Cleveland has some firepower. Andy Schmetzer, blocked by Hermes. On the block, both players came up pretty high, and Hermes upset, so is Walt Schmetzer, but luckily they embrace rather than duke it out. That looked pretty threatening there for a moment. Here's Perez. Hugo shooting it. It's blocked wide, but kept alive by Karic. He's dangerous. Zoran Karic against DeLuca. Out at the left point to Clavillo, the Sockers captain. He's had a magnificent championship series. Right boards, Karic to Mocalis. Right back to Karic. He had the game winner the other night. Karic on his left foot. Save. P.J. Johns, a nice one on the short side, and it's cleared out. Clavillo back after it in a hurry as Hoskevik goes after him.
Lots of San Diego possession here, JP, and Cleveland, of course, a little unnerved by that. They want the ball, and they're not getting it at all. They're having a hard time getting a touch on it, and even when they get the touch on it, they really can't hold it. It's all San Diego from the point of view of control, and you don't want to have them control it because they're so good at it.
Karic with it at the force red line. Back to Mocalis, 9:43 to go. In the opening quarter, it's a 1-0 lead for San Diego. Perez to the outside on Kitson. Plays it in for Hermes, trying to touch it off, not enough on it. Along the boards they battle. DeLuca wins it for Hoskevik. For Walt Schmetzer, a little bit behind Walt Schmetzer. And now back to Kai Hoskevik. Hoskevik, the Force captain. Over the midfield line, one of the 2 stars of the MISL, Hoskeby, gives it up. Right boards out, kept it. Off the boards, watch Mepham, shot save, rebound, Kitson missed. He missed it. Stolmeyer. And the saga of the Cleveland Force continues. Are we watching a replay of Game 3? Or did this just happen?
I can't understand how Paul Kitson could possibly have missed that.
Brian Quinn knocking it on the left wing side.
Empty net opportunity, just had to side put it in and somehow conspired, otherwise managed to mess it up. But
you know how sometimes you say that shot was more difficult than it appeared? I think that shot was as it appeared. It looked like he just missed it. Armstrong on the right side to Stolmeyer, playing with an injured right ankle. He was a question mark for the last game, but managed to play after going through the warm-up. Well, it'll take a lot more than a bad ankle to keep Stolmeyer out.
The frustrating thing about that missed opportunity was that it was so well set up, too.
Yep. Hoskeby with Mepham helping out. Ladouceur. Right side Crow. Along the boards. I just wonder, Seamus, how many more misses as Ladouceur is down that Cleveland can't afford here without the whole team getting down, because they know that they've had some of those problems, and Cleveland may not get a better scoring chance than this the whole game.
Well, this one really was just remarkable because it was set up so nicely with a couple of good touches, and it looked like it was, look at this, off the boards, and now you'll see the Mepham touch, and there it is. How could he miss that? I just understand it. He looks like he's leaning back at the time that the ball was coming through, and just misjudged the bounce. Here's the foul now on Ladouceur by Stolmeyer. It wasn't a foul, actually, just a crash together, but no foul given. I think the referee just stopping the play to be sure that Ladouceur is taken care of. Again, it's hard to explain how Kitson missed that. Hard to explain how Craig Allen missed a couple of minutes ago, but it's most distressing indeed if you're a Cleveland fan to see this kind of stuff still going on 2 days later.
No team has ever won an MISL championship with a 4-game sweep. Last year, you may recall, Dallas lost the first 2, but then came back in the second game or in the third game and ended up eventually winning the series in what had to be the most exciting championship series that this league has ever seen, and maybe we'll see. It'd be pretty tough to duplicate that, although you'd like to think that every year something could get better. Kevin Crow after it in his own zone, knocking it back to Clavijo, up for Brian Quinn. Quinn up for Clavijo, couldn't win it, but he did the best thing he could with it. Up the right side, Juli Veee after it. Valentine in the air, now Mepham, but the Sockers will get it back. Clavijo knocking it for Veee, knocked away, but Quinn is there. 1-0 lead for San Diego. Dougherty off the boards, but Armstrong there. Desmond Armstrong coming back to the midfield line. Left side Valentine, Carl Valentine to the outside with a chance. He pulled the keeper out. It came out off the boards, and nobody was home for a rebound. Now it's Mepham getting it away. Valentine with a good opportunity. Stolmeyer right side to Desmond Armstrong. Armstrong cutting, knocked away by Quinn right to Stolmeyer. Great save for Toth, and he saw that one at the last second through a screen, and it's knocked out of play, and they're going to give the ball to San Diego. We've got an official timeout, though, on the floor. 7:08 to go in the opening quarter, and the story continues to be Cleveland missing their chances.
Well, here's the Carl Valentine we hope to see tonight, and Cleveland fans did, certainly. Look at Clavijo trying to steer him wide. He slips a little bit, does Clavijo, and that allows Valentine to get in, but Dougherty, or Crow, had rather blocked off Craig Allen there, and the ball ran loose. But here's a good shot through a screen of players. Well parried away. The shot by Stolmeyer, the screening run across the face of the goal by Craig Allen, but the tall presence of keeper Toth comes through. Well, I thought we had several quality chances at Jankowski to put it away, and we didn't. Well, they have had even better chances tonight, and they haven't put them away either.
And he's hoping that he doesn't have to use that same quote during the post-game show tonight. Toth to Fernandez. Now back for Zoltan. Back to McAllister. Now Cleveland putting a little heat on here. Toth, though, will pick it up. Long throw, not a good one. Armstrong is there. Desmond Armstrong slowing it down. Blocked by Hermes. Off the boards. Karich there, so is Hoskeby. Karich wins it. Slips by. Karich to midfield with a 1-0 Sockers lead. Trying to get around Andy Schmetzer. They're playing it physical down below. Perez still bothered by that hip flexor strain. Says lots of times it hurts more when he really runs hard full sprint and he has to stretch it out. Stollmeyer up the middle. Haskeby, a man breaks to the left. That's Kitson. It's played right side now to Armstrong, and then back to Stollmeyer. 6:15 to go. First quarter, and it's a 1-0 Sockers lead on Hermes, 13th in the playoffs from Dougherty. Kitson from Haskeby. Kai double team. Sockers putting some pressure on. They take it away. Perez on the go. 3-on-3. Haskeby hustles back on the left wing. It's Hermes. Haskeby intercepts it, coming back. Nice play to P.J. Johns.
Well, Haskeby has to do all that work probably to make up for having lost the ball, but he was double teamed, as you say, and of course that is a San Diego strategy to double team the quality players when they get trapped near the boards.
I want to talk more about that if we can pick it up when the play-by-play subsides a bit. Kitson, a giveaway. Seamus, one of the problems is, besides the big guns not scoring and being double teamed, that players like Mepham, who have done so much during the course of the season, have not come through. Same with Desmond Armstrong, and Stollmeyer only has the 1 assist, even though he has played well. So that's been a problem. If anyone else from the back could pick up some of that slack, it may not allow San Diego to double team. P.J. Johns will give it up to Pasquale DeLuca. By the way, we talked to you before about Bliss coming on, or playing, or dressing for the game, and Felguerian and Casamani. We didn't tell you that Gino DeFlorio is sitting out tonight. He has had a series he'd rather forget. On the far side now, Ladouceur makes the move with Ruotolo on the right wing.
Well, good attack by Cleveland, though. Well intelligently played off the boards and just not able to quite get to it.
Mocalis, right side to Dougherty. Paul Dougherty holding it. Now in he strides. Nice couple of fakes. They almost let him through. And now it's touched by Mepham up to Valentine. Force knocking it around.
Yeah. No, they've knocked it around nicely, but they've not really gotten. They've not taken any of the players from San Diego out of the game.
Mepham will bring it in. Trying to play in the box for Spencer, broken up by Veee.
Uh-oh, look out.
There he goes, Clavillo. Off to the races, off the boards. Knocked away by DeLuca, but right back to Clavillo. Easy pass, Veee. Blocked by Mepham. He saves a goal, Dougherty. Great save for P.J. Johns. Juli Veee to Clavillo. Shot stopped by P.J. Johns, and again, Johns keeps the force in the game.
Yeah, he sure does. Terrific save there a minute ago. The last shot not very, very strong, but that looked like vintage breakaway soccer by the San Diego club, and they got away with it, did Cleveland.
Well, you don't even have to see who the player is. When you see somebody streaking, when it's blurring by you, you know it's Clavillo. It's played back now to Zoltan Toth. And now to Fernandez. Back for Zoltan. His toss on the left side finds Karich. And now back for Fernandez, the #1 draft choice of the force, and he is actually one of the candidates for the Dr. Pepper Unsung Hero Award. If it were all over right now, he'd have my vote. Dougherty right across, and Valentine with a block. And now it's Craig Allen holding, trying to beat Fernandez. Now left puts it ahead to Valentine. 1-0 San Diego, and there's Kevin Crowe again, sparkling on defense and coming back to help the offense as Ladouceur brings it over midfield. He can fly with it. Over the line, he tried to give it to Crowe. It's blocked. Ladouceur stays with it. Across, here's a Karich shot blocked by Stollmeyer. And now back out to Brian Quinn. Valentine putting some effort forth there. Now it's Fernandez. But Quinn beat Valentine in the run back. Quinn shooting it, stopped by P.J. Johns.
Well, Valentine, as you mentioned, having to suddenly make a run back to track down Quinn. It was a late reaction, though, but more concern, though, is giving up the ball on the other end, as he did when Crowe just outsmarted him to win it.
Paul Kitson on the right side. He's been struggling in this one. Haskeby just fell down. Just slipped. Haskeby played it across. And now Quinn will take it back the other way. Up for Perez. Perez, soft touch outside. Karich shot right at P.J. Johns.
Now, I don't think he meant to shoot it on goal. I think that was intended to be a pass.
Haskeby against Fernandez. Beats her to the middle. Blocked by George Fernandez. That's a great recovery. Players starting to slip a bit. I got to think the ice underneath the carpet.
I think it is. You're right.
Perez, good ball from Hermes. I want to talk about that as Perez shoots it off the post. There's ice under the carpet. There is not usually. There's no National Hockey League franchise here in Cleveland, but they had an ice show coming in. So if the building gets a little warm, you could have a problem. And they just finished laying this carpet down literally maybe a half hour or so before this game even started. So the Sockers, slip as both teams are leading in this one. 1-0 is the score with 1:40 left in the first.
Well, Kai Haskaway finally taking the offense into his own hands here. He's trying to go one-on-one, and he tries to get the shot off, but it's well smothered by Fernandez, who's done a solid job back there, and McCullough sweeps it away. But no question that people are beginning to slip and slide around here, and that's not a good sign for the game, regardless of which team is hurt by it.
Remember that championship series, the Arrows and the Steamers?
Oh,
Guys
boy.
at the Nassau Coliseum, a warm night. Guys are slipping and sliding all over the place. That's probably the worst you'll ever see, as it's played back to Toth. Rolls it on the right side. And now played back to Kevin Crow, up for Hermes, knocked away by DeLuca, and now it's Clavillo. 1-0 lead here for San Diego with 1:24 to go in the opening quarter. And if you joined us late, the goal came at 1:35 from Hermes. Crow stopped by P.J. Johns, and then neatly tucked back by DeLuca with Hermes in a threatening position. Walt Schmetzer back for Haskavy. Ahead to number 4, Walt Schmetzer, up near his own red line against Dougherty. Plays it back to Haskavy. Kai Haskavy, less than a minute to go in the quarter. Up for Mepham. Pushing it for Armstrong. Kitson goes into the box. Armstrong got free at the top of the arc. Clavillo slipped that time. Armstrong out to Walt Schmetzer. 45 seconds left in the quarter. 1-0. San Diego. Veee tripped up Walt Schmetzer. Third Sockers foul. Restart coming up for Haskavy, who's already shown his danger throughout this series on restarts. Haskavy shooting it again up the crossbar. Boy, he's amazing at that as that one goes on a play.
Boy, a whistle off the post or crossbar. I couldn't see it happen so fast. Let's take a look here, but he bends it the near side. Wow, just the angle there it hit.
Right where
again,
it meets.
a nice distracting run by Kitson, I think, across the front. But beautifully struck ball off the angle. Woo. And the goalkeeper, of course, as usual, yelling at the wall, a one-man wall of Juli Veee.
It's a game of inches.
I don't know who'd want to be a wall in the indoor soccer. I mean,
that's like special teams in football. Somebody's got to do it. Cleveland Force in their very first championship appearance, and they're the only charter franchise in the MISL. They were here in year 1. They're still here 10 years later. So from that standpoint alone, it's nice that they got here this season. Craig Allen. Valentine open for the moment. Trying to play it across, blocked again. Blocked. Clavillo. Perhaps saving a goal there with Stolmeyer at the far post as Toth gives out some instructions. He wants to be able to get a better view of this.
Well, the initial pass out was very bad. Unfortunately, the attack got slowed down. Good block by Crow, and another good one in there too by Clavillo. They're the number 1-2 blockers on this team.
Valentine runs over the ball. Armstrong plays it to Allen, turning from the angle for Valentine. Save Toth. Zoltan Toth made the play, and there was no rebound. Karich tried to lead Quinn. He would have sprung him. Knocked back into the corner. Clavillo double team. Up for Karich, too far. Armstrong for Stolmeyer. Wide open is Mepham. The shot blocked. Stolmeyer never saw him. Oh, the horn sounds, and a lucky thing for Cleveland because Brian Quinn was standing at the midfield line, and he would have loved to have gotten a loose ball, but I got to think, Seamus, Stolmeyer never saw Mepham on that left wing side. So, at the end of 1 quarter to play, try as they may, and they had all kinds of opportunities. The Force still have not scored. Sockers lead 1-0. Game 4 of the championship series is being brought to you by Dr. Pepper, just what the doctor ordered. By Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza delivers hot, fresh baked pizza in 30 minutes or less. And by Turtle Wax, the #1 selling car wax in the world. It's a 1-0 lead for the San Diego Sockers. They scored early in the game, and Wad Hermes did the honors.
Watt got a power play goal 2 nights ago, but this time he just gets an opportunistic goal as Dougherty places this ball in, and you see him hit the wall, and it comes back between the Schmetzers, and there is Watt in there to knock it into the roof of the net, and the Schmetzer boys not able to clear that one away, and of course that's always one of the things about soccer. The ball comes back off the wall a lot, and there's a shot through a screen. You saw Craig Allen trying to distract Toth, the goalkeeper, by running across him. A good strong shot by Stolmeyer, but blocked away by Toth. The stats, Sockers out shooting the Force 8-4, 5 saves, some of them very crucial indeed by P.J. Johns in the Cleveland goal. Only 5 blocks in this first period, and very few fouls. It says 3-1 here, although I don't remember a Force foul, but okay.
Second quarter is underway, and before it started, some of the crew here brought out some big towels to try and soak up some of the moisture that's apparently down there on the floor because of the ice. Right now, I wonder if they turned the air conditioning up, because now I'm starting to feel some cool air coming through. I think that's one of the reasons why they're doing that, because the carpet very slippery with the ice underneath. Perez with it. In the force zone. Perez knocked away by Stollmeyer. They both go down. Desmond Armstrong to the left side for Andy Schmetzer. A 1-0 lead here for San Diego. Andy Schmetzer up near midfield. Going long for Hoskeby. He'll get it up the board. Save by Tolt. That stung him. That stung him. He's hurt. That caught him in the chest, and I'm sure that took some wind out of him. He's just now recovering. The other way, Perez leads for Karich, but P.J. Johns with a fine read. Good ball to Kitson, but he couldn't control it. Paul Kitson has had maybe 5 touches on the ball tonight. 4 of them have been miserable. Andy Schmetzer shoots it right at Tolt. He lost the rebound. He may still be trying to catch back some of that wind. Armstrong to Hoskeby. They're going to test him. Right across Stollmeyer, and he put it upstairs. Some great opportunities, but look at Zoli. He's still puffing.
He's still puffing. I think it was a surprise shot here from Hoskeby. Hoskeby maybe trying to get a rebound off the boards more than a shot, but you see it catches him right in the rib cage, just under the rib cage. And he had no real time to react to that at all or prepare for it. Just smacked into him, so he had no time to sort of prepare in any way for it. And that's a surprise, and it hurts. But he had other things to do thereafter. Now he's getting a little bit of a warm-up there.
5 straight wins in the playoffs for Zoli.
Yeah,
that hit probably made him think about what he had for his pregame meal earlier today. Zoltan Tolt put it in play. He won 11 out of his last 12 during the regular season. He's a guy you can count on. Same as Gorsuch. Gorsuch won 18 out of his last 23.
Well, a little bit more risk-taking happening now by Cleveland. This is what we heard Carl Valentine talk about.
Whoa! That was almost shades of the other night, wasn't it?
Yeah. But double-teaming Perez the last time and stealing the ball from him, and then making some sliding tackles to win it back. And that's the kind of risk you got to take if you're down by 3 games and a goal.
P.J. Johns on the right side. DeLuca blocked by Perez, and that one got a very lucky Cleveland bounce.
Yep.
Dennis Mepham up for Craig Allen. Leaving it off for Mepham. Left side, Valentine. Craig Allen's father also watching the festivities tonight. Coming in from England. Came in actually and watched the other game. Game 3. And the first game here in Cleveland. Stollmeyer right across to Mepham. There is no tomorrow for the Cleveland Force. They have the summer off. If they lose this one tonight, Sockers will celebrate if they win. Here's Clavijo. Off the boards. Broken up. He'll try it again, and that one goes out of play. Not a great crowd on hand here tonight in Cleveland, which is a surprise because of what they did during the regular season. We have 12:41 to go here in the second quarter, and the Sockers still have that 1-0 lead, but opportunities for both sides.
Well, let's take a look at this now. This ball is being played to Craig Allen by Dennis Mepham. Allen really doesn't move, but somebody else moves. It's, of course, Clavijo, who sees the chance, comes right inside Craig Allen, and then sets up this opportunity off the boards, which John Stollmeyer helps to clear away. But Clavijo, it's a perfect example of how he can take advantage of somebody maybe sleeping a little bit, as Craig Allen was that time, maybe not realizing that Clavijo was that close to him, but you just cannot let your concentration drop for 1 second around the San Diego team.
Valentine will knock it back to Stollmeyer. Still a 1-0 lead here for San Diego. Off the boards, Desmond Armstrong and Crow collide. Loose ball picked up by Dougherty. Right side, a little space there for Ruotolo. Plays it across badly to Tabrizi. Almost Tabrizi after it. San Diego almost had a good break going up the floor. Kevin Crow going long for Ruotolo. Raphael, bothered there by Mepham, gives it up for Juli Veee. Juli Veee, 38 years old, now back for Craig Allen, and then back to the keeper, P.J. Johns. One wonders about Juli Veee. Will this be his last season? Certainly in the playoffs, he's shown that he could still go more, but with the salary cap being lowered and all that, who knows what's going to happen. But he'd like to go out in style with a championship if he can, but he may be back again next year, and maybe even with San Diego. Carl Valentine, holding. Valentine, foul there by Fernandez. First foul of the quarter. Craig Allen turning against Crow. Too high. Dougherty puts it down for Juli Veee. settles it well and then trying to lead it, but Rotolo not expecting it. Cleared back by Mepham to Allen. Soft touch for Valentine against Veee. That's a mismatch shot. Great save, Toth. Spectacular. It's a loose ball, and Veee will pick it up. Valentine got the mismatch against another offensive player, and he almost buried it. Now DeLuca and Veee. And they better keep their heads cool, because I'll tell you, Juli Veee has got a lead here in the series at 3 games to none, and I don't think he wants to end it being tossed out.
This is the save of the series, I think. This is a remarkable save. A great, powerful shot, and just a superb lunge. Amazing instincts this guy has, and his ability, his athletic ability to get down that fast and get a hand on the ball, because that ball was really nailed beautifully by Carl Valentine, and he's got to wonder what it takes.
Haskovic. Off the boards for Allen. Too far. Here's DeLuca. Blocked. Juli Veee. Nice play defensively. Brian Bliss's first turn of the night. #1 draft choice to the MISL from Southern Connecticut State. Now it's Haskovic. Still 1-0 San Diego. Haskovic to the boards. Knocks it back out. Craig Allen. 35 feet away. Takes it against Perez. Allen. Too much dribbling for Craig Allen. That's not his game. He's got to set up closer to goal and let other players do that kind of work. Perez leads for Crow. They've got a man open. It was Hermes, but it's blocked by Schmetzer. Coming back. Now the long toss for Allen. Fernandez got a piece and maybe a hand on it as well as it goes out of play.
Nobody called it, except the fans.
I think it was easier to see from our angle, honestly, than the officials' angle down below. But how about Allen, Seamus, in the last sequence? Dribbling against Perez like that, I would have to think that they'd want Allen to be free somewhere around the box where he's more deadly.
Well, he got, we'll see this handball coming up here. The ball is flicked up in the air and it sort of...
Oh. Look worse there.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was a blatant handball, but neither referee saw it. But Allen, I think his initial dribble was good. He got out of trouble, but then he sort of dribbled himself back into trouble.
Yeah. Bliss to Andy Schmetzer. Up for Haskovic. Haskovic knocks it back. Down to Brian Bliss. Blocked the other way by McAllis. And now Haskovic will get it. Andy Schmetzer off his foot. Bliss looking to settle it. Lifting it for Kitson. Right side Armstrong. Back into the neutral zone for Bliss.
Swarming defense here by San Diego, feeling that there's a lot of inexperience out there that they can capitalize on.
Armstrong now to Haskovic. Clavillo, look at that. He was looking for his chance, looking to break through. Now it's Kitson. Pass on the opposite side. Now it's Tabrizi for Lanassur. Tabrizi makes a good run into space. Tabrizi against Kitson, shot it wide. That was almost double jeopardy there for Kitson. Made the giveaway offensively and then had his man beat him defensively. Haskovic, right side for Kitson. Still 1-0 San Diego. Kitson off the boards, wants his own ball. Smart play, but it didn't work. Good idea, but it didn't work.
It didn't work because Zoltan Toth knows that play well and saw it all the way.
Win against Armstrong. Zizi's by himself. There's that San Diego change again. For Dougherty, shot went wide. McAllis keeps it alive. Gus McAllis leaving it off now for Zoran Karic. 1-0 San Diego. Shot right at P.J. Johns. Long one for Craig Allen against Clavijo. He's going to look for some help there because you're not going to outrun him.
He's not getting any help except from the San Diego defender who fouled him. All the other players had gone off for a line change, so he was up there all on his own.
How'd you like to be in a one-on-one with Clavillo and know that you're not going to beat him with speed? Beppo from the corner, just behind the corner kick spot. He'll kick away at it, broke it up, knocked off the boards. Clavijo turns it up a notch. Over the line, beautiful ball to Karic. Tackled away, nice job, Stollmeyer. Dougherty, a blast, Stollmeyer again. Up for Craig Allen, here's a chance, 3-on-2. Now the Sockers made a great defensive change on the fly. Stollmeyer on the boards. DeLuca, Cleveland looking for that tying goal. Loose ball for Allen. Craig Allen still with it, lifting it, shot, Stollmeyer miskicked it off the left foot. Off the outside of his left foot and out of play. And I'm running out of description, Seamus, for the way Cleveland was missing.
All you can say is it's just simply not in the cards for Cleveland. I mean, San Diego is a super team. There's no question about this. But here's the chance to tie it up. And yes, the defense is in line, but still, he's close in. If he could just get around that thing, he could bury it. and you just have this sinking feeling that it's just not meant to be, which is to take nothing away from San Diego, which I think, without any question, frankly, is the better team. I mean, Cleveland fans have got to be recognizing that now. San Diego fans have known it for some time, probably. But the ball will not roll for them, and they just simply are not able to convert their chances, and the beat goes on.
Well, you'd like to say that some of it is the inexperience of Cleveland, but some of the veterans are the ones that have been doing the missing, and there's a lot of experience there, so that may not be it. Toth up the right wing to Fernandez.
That ball.
Fernandez bothered by Armstrong. Now to Perez. Perez, one of probably 4 or 5 candidates actually for the MVP of the series if San Diego keeps in form and wins this one. Played back to Kevin Crowe, Defender of the Year, second time he's won it. Same with Kim Rundvedt of Kansas City. Now it's Perez against Kitson. And Valentine tries to help out. Perez has already shown his value in this series, and here he comes off a touch from Veee. Just wide, here's Hermes, and he put it upstairs. Tough one for him to handle, and that will cause a stoppage in play, and Cleveland will have a goal kick when we come back. Force, try, but no goals to show for it. The Sockers still lead by 1.
Well, we're going to show you why Zoltan Toth is the best goalkeeper in the MISL, as Carl Valentine has a good chance here, does very well, fakes and goes inside, player falls down, and look at this late reaction. He has to dive quickly to his right and manages to knock it away, but a fine shot indeed, well set up by Valentine, and just a reflex dive by Toth, and he's not able to gather the rebound, but Juli Veee helps him out. But really, the spring and the quick reaction there was really stunning.
Well, if Zoltan Toth ends up winning this, he is also a candidate for Championship Series MVP. He would have won 3 out of the 4 games, but Cleveland's not dead yet, and they're showing that, but they've just got to finish. They're not executing the final shot. That's just been their problem. The last touch for Cleveland, more so than any other touch that they have, has been the poor one. You're not going to be able to stop Zoltan Toth from making those kinds of saves, granted. But if they could just cash in on the easy chances that they've had where Toth couldn't come up with it, and they've just shot them away, they'd be all right. Stolmeyer back for P.J. Johns, and he's coming out a bit. Johns up the right side for Valentine. Still bothered, he told us before the game, by bad hamstrings, which he never had prior to this season. But this season, the hamstrings really dealt him a bad hand. McAllis across the way to Clavijo. And Allen's going to start thinking about him right there. Fernando Clavijo. Up to Karich. Nice try, and Mepham took him down. Karich went down awful hard for some relatively easy contact. But the foul is called. Second on Cleveland, second on the Sockers. 1-0. Cleveland has proven that they can stay close with San Diego. They've just been unable to get over that edge. Up to Perez, now knocked back to McAllis. Cost San Diego 3 draft choices to get a hold of Gus McAllis from Los Angeles. After he had made the All-Star squad 3 times with the Lasers. Up to Perez, knocked to Karich. And back to Wad Hermes. He has the only goal of the game, and it came at 1:35. First quarter. McAllis that time giving up to Valentine. Looks around to see who's with him. Brings it over the line against Perez. Valentine in the corner. Off the boards. Ran himself into a critical spot. Now Perez comes back. Off the boards. Oh, Perez would have been off to the races. At Karich delivered that one. McAllis now Clavijo. Allen recovers. Clavijo picked up by Craig Allen. Tried to give it up, and it's broken up. McAllis made a late run down the right side. Clavijo held up as long as he could. Hermes. Now Valentine for Mepham. Good job to get it in possession. Down the right wing. Dennis Mepham. Bothered by Hermes. Mepham hustles, but there's Dougherty. He could create an advantage here. Up now for Juli Veee. Hermes, good run, good ball. Hermes try to give it back. Veee scores. Juli Veee makes it 2-0 for San Diego. And again, after Cleveland goes up offensively and doesn't even get a shot on goal, the Sockers come back and bury it.
Well, very cool play indeed by that lethal fast break. Perez not involved for a change, but this man Dougherty, who's done it now twice, pushing the ball forward. And watch Juli Veee's little flick here. Beautiful touch, and Hermes gives it back to him. That was not a shot, I didn't think. I don't think it was a shot.
No.
Plays it off the boards, and even though there were 2 defenders over there, it comes right to Juli Veee. Now you see it again. There's Doherty, ever energetic, and he sees he's got help up front of Juli Veee. The quick touch by Juli Veee, and then the shot back to him. And again, very elegantly done with the outside of his right foot. A lot of players wouldn't risk that kind of finishing shot, but once again, just when Cleveland desperately needs a goal, along comes San Diego with a bit of a backbreaker. And, you know, you really wonder if there's a goal at all in the Cleveland side tonight. They've had so many good chances that they haven't been able to convert. And then all of a sudden, as we talked over and over in this series, they get victimized by the counter.
Here's a look at Juli Veee. Perez, Veee, and Hermes all came in with 20 points going into this game tonight. And now Hermes went up. And now Vee's trying to catch up to him. But Juan Hermes, with a couple of points tonight, now has tied with Jan Goossens for the league scoring leadership. And Goossens has no more games to play. Hermes can still do it. Crow. Up now for Brian Quinn. Left side for Carrots. It's a 2-0 lead for San Diego. Now for Doherty. Paul Doherty knocking it back for Brian Quinn. Right side for Kevin Crow. At the midfield line, he'll play it back to Quinn. Right side to Crow, 4:45 to go. Opening half of play. Carriage heading it back. And now Quinn will have to go for it. Back for Toth at his feet. Toth will lift it away, and now Walt Schmetzer will pick it up, but there's Quinn.
Yeah, and they worked to get that back, and the first touch gives it right back to San Diego.
Frustrating. Carriage almost split the defense. Now it's Clavijo out to Quinn. Soft touch to Crow. Kevin Crow holding it. Crow has really matured as a player on the field and off the field. He came into this league, had a lot of talent, has been on the All-Star team now 4 years in a row, but he just gets better and better, and he's just more poised out there. Maybe being a player rep has helped him as well in terms of leadership and respectability. Clavijo dumped, and that's one way to stop him. Maybe the only way is Schmetzer introduces him to the carpet.
Yeah, well, frustrating foul. Again, it's awfully difficult when you're the opponent, seeing all this possession, all this skill working to keep the ball away from you, so you can't really get into the game.
Great ball to Veee, but then he put it upstairs as he tried to volley it right on his shoe tops. The great passing play from Fernando Clavijo. So the Sockers still with a lead of 2-0. Goals by Hermes and Veee. Cleveland being shut out. Some of the comments from P.J. Johns after the game the other night, and he's right about his team never giving up. They're going as hard as they can. The effort is there again tonight as it was in Game 3, but the results are not there, or at least not so far. Craig Allen in the neutral zone, broken up, but a foul, and that's going to be San Diego's third. There are 3 on the Cleveland force. Armstrong gives it to Stolmeyer, and now back to Allen. Up for Valentine, knocking it back for Craig Allen again. Reversed on the right to Stolmeyer. Craig Allen. Now giving it back to Stolmeyer. Over to Armstrong. Back for Allen, and now to Stolmeyer. Forrest trying to create some space up front with some runs, but Sockers with some very tight man-to-man marking.
Yeah, they're really just not giving them any room in which to play. And Craig Allen eventually almost trying to push his way by Ladouceur.
Up for Stolmeyer. Now they just try to reverse positions a bit. Valentine broke it up. Fernandez and Allen. George Fernandez really having a great series. Stolmeyer up for Allen. Now knocked back for Stolmeyer. Fernandez on him. Knocked all the way back. P.J. Johns beats one player, beats the second. There he goes. Doing his best impression of Slobodan Ilyievsky so far in the series. Armstrong. Right side Stolmeyer to Craig Allen. Shot to a screen wide. I think P.J. Johns was saying, I'll show you guys how to bring it up the floor.
Well, he did give a nice ball to Desmond Armstrong, who wasted his opportunity, really, by eventually slowing it down and playing it square instead of trying to really make something out of it with, as we'd heard about earlier, a little bit of this risk-taking. He had one player to take on, opted not to, slow down, and just gave the responsibility on to somebody else.
Morales and Toth. They just had the wrong foul flash on the wrong side of the board, but they've corrected that. Cleveland with 4 fouls, San Diego with 3. Kitson in a battle there. Rotolo will pick it up. San Diego with 12 players with championship game experience in the MISL. Cleveland with just 2 Hoskovy, and Kitson. Ball played long by Toth. P.J. Johns out of ways. Left puts it ahead to midfield. Meppa heading it. Clavillo knocking it down off the chest. Meppa back killing it the other way, but too far ahead for Hoskovy. And now it's McAllis. 1:45 to go here in the opening half of play. And the Sockers have a 2-0 lead. They have finished on a couple of quality passes, going up the floor and just making sure that they put it in the back of the net, whereas Cleveland may have had more quality chances, but never finished them off. P.J. Johns long toss to Kitson with Hoskovy. Kai off the boards, got it, save, and it went by Toth as Hoskovy tried to push it by. DeLuca kept it in, but a handball. Tough call for DeLuca because that's 5 fouls with 1:15 left. Tough call. So it'll be San Diego's ball from deep in their own zone. Perez knocking it back. Allen leveled him. Craig Allen gets a 6th foul. And I can't understand why, in a situation like this where you really need discipline and control, why Allen would just level Perez like that. So it's 6 fouls on Cleveland, but they know that there's 5 on him. Watch Perez cutting to the right. In no trouble there. A senseless foul for Craig Allen to take. And you know that the coaches have to feel the same way about that. Perez is not going to beat you there. You foul him like that. If he's breaking the other way in the offensive zone, that you can buy. But that'll give San Diego a power play with 1:11 to go. Now remember, Cleveland did not allow a power play goal since December the 27th. That's going way back until the other night when Hermes scored. So that streak ended up being broken, but then they killed off a penalty later on in the game. Should point out tonight, too, we've not mentioned Benny Dargo's name. He has got a problem. A cut over his eye that required 10 stitches. So he is not playing tonight. He had played in 251 straight games from regular seasons past through the playoffs and is sitting out tonight. They just don't want to risk the eye because they know that Benny will go up strong and go after a head ball that he has probably no business going up for with the injury, and they just don't want to hurt him. Now it's Perez. Right side to Quinn on the man advantage. Perez over the line with 1:04 to play in the quarter, or in the half. Quinn a shot. Great save again for P.J. Johns. He hit it off the crossbar. So Johns continues to give the force a lot of life. Right side to Lucas, shorthanded. Shot. Oh, just too high off the glass. Michael King after it. Now Meppa trying to pass it. King, nice job to work it to the boards. Toth comes out, clears it ahead to Karich, and he'll just lose it off the touch. 38 seconds left. Stolmeyer. Back for P.J. Johns. That was dangerous. Dougherty with an empty net. Blocked. P.J. Johns got a piece of it. Corner kick. And again, there's that never say die attitude of the force because Johns would have been beaten on that. Taking it back. It's a Stolmeyer pass. Not a good one. Dougherty, very pesky around there. P.J. Johns makes the dive and got a piece of the ball. Otherwise, it's 3-0. Another look is Dougherty. Only 5'2", but he had 40 goals during the regular season. If P.J. doesn't make that dive, it's in. Karich on the corner kick coming up from the near wing. Plays it out. Perez wants it on the left foot. Cuts back, and he's broken up. DeLuca will just clear it out. Zoltan Toth all the way back for it. Still a 2-0 lead here for San Diego with another half of play to come your way. 17 seconds left in this half. 1:03 in the man advantage. Quinn plays it back for Hermes. Not a good ball. A chance for Cleveland as King breaks out of the back. But Quinn with a good recovery run to catch him. Quinn in the corner with 3 seconds left. Clavillo off the boards, and the horn will sound. Ending play in the first half. Much like Game 3, where Cleveland put out all kinds of effort and had some great scoring opportunities, they couldn't put them away, and San Diego has cashed in on their 2 scoring attempts. So that's the way it ends up at the end of the first half. It's a 2-0 lead for the San Diego Sockers. In just a few moments, we'll be going downstairs. Ron Newman will have some words with Seamus Mallon, and then also at halftime, the owner of the Cleveland Force, Bart Wolstein, will be our guest, and then we'll also take a look at some halftime highlights. So all of that is coming your way, so we hope you'll stick along here on FNN Score. At the end of the first half of play, on goals by Hermes and B, the Sockers lead at 2-0. Let's go downstairs now to Seamus Mallon and the Sockers head coach, Ron Newman. Seamus?
Thank you, JP. Ron Newman here. Ron, I'm impressed by one thing tonight, and that is your possession game. You've been taking a lot of the air out of the ball on them, and frustrating them quite some.
Yeah, well, I think the game's going the way we want it. They've missed a couple of good chances. We're not seeing it getting all our passes in front of goal just where we want them. A little bit disturbed, I thought, in the first period with the field being a little bit slippery out there. But the score is looking just about right. I'm glad we finished the half without them scoring.
But defensively, you look very, very composed, too. People don't seem to be taking risks. They seem to be backing each other up very well at the back.
Yeah, we're doing a very good job, I think, of tracking people down and getting enough people pinching at the back when they're the right side of the ball.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us, Coach Ron Newman. Back to your locker room and back upstairs to JP.
Thank you, Seamus. Hermes with his 13th goal of the season from Dougherty at 1:35 of the opening quarter, and then at 9:25, Juli Veee with his 11th goal of the season from Hermes. Those are the only goals. When the next half starts, the Sockers will have a power play. Lots more coming away at halftime. We'll be back to Cleveland in a moment. Welcome back, everyone, to the Richfield Coliseum in Richfield, Ohio. We're at the end of the first half of play. The San Diego Sockers have a 2-0 lead against the Cleveland Force, and the Sockers lead it in the best-of-7 championship series right now, 3-0. Right now, it's our pleasure to reintroduce to you, if you've watched previous games on FNN Score, the owner and president of the Cleveland Force, Mr. Bart Wallstein. Bart, I like the comments that you made yesterday. You weren't giving up at all on your team. They've made the effort, and you're talking about the fact that they're going to be here for years to come. I thought that was pretty nice.
Well, we have a young team, and we're certainly outmatched and outclassed by the veterans of San Diego, but I think our guys are doing what they have to do the best they can, and I think what goes around comes around, and our day will come, and we'll be able to punish them the way we're getting punished.
I tell you what, it's got to be very pleasing for you. 10 years in the league. This is the only franchise that was here in year one and back. It must be great because this is the 10th anniversary of the MISL.
Well, it's been a lot of hard work, and obviously we're proud. We're proud to be in the championship series, and we're looking forward to being back in the championship series next year.
You decided to make some changes this year. Some veterans were gone. You brought the kids. You certainly don't regret that because there's only 2 teams here, and you're one of them. Is it going to be the same kind of commitment to youth for the Cleveland Force?
Oh, yeah, we're going to continue the youth movement. The problem is, of course, we're making little mistakes in these games, and it's the kids that are making it. But pretty soon they'll be veterans, and they'll be seasoned, and the other teams will be looking at their kids, and we'll have the veterans. So the worm turns.
We're going to have a look at some other kids coming up, too, because you're going to be hosting the Bud Classic. Tell us about that. This is going to be, what, the 3rd season?
Yes, Bud Classic is really a great event. We bring in the 60 top college players throughout the country here to break up into 4 teams, and we have a doubleheader here at the Coliseum. And I understand that's going to be televised live on FNN Score. So I think it's a great opportunity. There are a lot of kids out there on our team that were in the Bud Classic. There are a lot of kids in the league that were in the Bud Classic. So we're looking to bring some nice young talent out of there, mostly Americans, about 99%. A couple foreign kids that go to school here, but they're considered Americans as far as the indoor soccer league.
We congratulate you, Bart. 10 years in the league, and you're in the championship series, and 4 years in a row leading the league in attendance. Great work.
Thank you very much, John. Pleasure.
Bart Wallstein, our guest here at the Richfield Coliseum. It is a 2-0 lead in favor of the San Diego Sockers. Goals by Hermes and Veee for San Diego. Stay with us. We'll come back for Game 4. Welcome back, everyone. Game 4 of the championship series. San Diego leading at 3-0, and they've got a 2-0 lead here over the Cleveland Force. Seamus Mallon downstairs. It's been the same kind of performance as Game 3, but how do you finish off? What can Timo Liakoski do at halftime, adjustment-wise, to give them better chances? They've had those kinds of great opportunities. They just can't cash in.
Well, that's a very good question, JP. I don't know that Timo Liakoski can really do anything tactically at this point. The players he's got to go with. The real question is whether or not he can convince them to give 30 minutes of all-out, thorough, 100%, 110% effort to try to do something for the pride of the team and for their own playing pride, because they have let themselves down a little bit. They haven't converted the chances. They do recognize, I think, in their heart of hearts that they're facing an extremely talented team and a team that can kill you with ball possession and with counterattacking. But they also know they're pros, and I think the best he can do is to appeal to their professional pride to come out and just give it everything they've got and hope like heck that maybe the ball will start to bounce their way for a bit.
Seamus, how about the turnovers that they were guilty of? I think the one thing that maybe we'll see in the second half, perhaps some of Kazumani, maybe more of Bliss, maybe less of someone else. Phil Guerra hasn't played, for example, and other guys have really struggled.
Well, as you know, Ali Casamani is a player who could sort of turn a game around if he were fully fit. I think there has to be some question as to whether that's possible now, given his condition. And it might be worth taking a gamble. They've got very little to lose. You got to forget at this point, it seems to me, about the counterattack. You know San Diego's going to get away with 1 and 2, and you count on P.J. Johns maybe to come through if he's isolated, or to John Stolmeyer to make a great tackle. You just got to put it out of your mind. You got to go all out in attack. And if it means trying to throw a few extra players forward, then maybe the strangers, if you will, that you've just mentioned, maybe the strangers are the ones who can surprise San Diego.
Well, certainly no strangers are the Schmetzer brothers. There are 3 of them playing in the MISL playoffs. We talked to their dad, Walt Schmetzer Sr., before the game about the thrill of having actually 3 sons all playing in the championship series. The MISL Championship Series is being brought to you by Dr. Pepper, just what the doctor ordered. By Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza delivers hot, fresh baked pizza in 30 minutes or less. And by Turtle Wax, the #1 selling car wax in the world. Here's a look at a proud father's shirt. You can see the numbers of the players for the respective teams. The one player that's not playing, though, tonight is Brian Schmetzer, the oldest of the 3 Schmetzer brothers. He's had some injury problems, and Ron Newman did not want to break up the lineup and put an injured player in with Tabrizi playing as well as he had. It's a 2-0 lead for the San Diego Sockers, and as we mentioned, 49 seconds on the power play. The towels they're using are to wipe up some of the moisture on the floor, because of the ice that's underneath it. The building was apparently warm. It feels like they are cooling it off, though, right now. First half, a 2-0 lead for the San Diego Sockers, and let's show you how they did it.
Well, you see the break by Paul Doherty, who does a good job on Kai Haskeby, the little fake inside, and then he runs outside. He'll hammer it off the wall here, and Hermes slips in between the Schmetzer brothers and knocks it into the roof of the net. So Daddy can't be too happy about that piece of defensive work by the Schmetzers. That was very early in the game, though. It was about 1:35 to be precise, and they were hardly into it. As we look at it again, you see them collapse, but unfortunately for them, Hermes comes in from behind them and just reaches that right foot in and knocks it up to the top for the goal. A very fine piece of opportunism by Hermes, who had a goal and then an assist, as he, in fact, was the player who did most of the damage on this goal, the second goal. Doherty with the run, Juli Veee with a very quick flick off that beat Schmetzer, and now Hermes plays it back to him off the boards, and an elegant right-footed finish by Juli Veee to give them the 2-0 lead with 9:25 of the second period.
Let's take a look at the stats for the first half of play, and you'll see that the Sockers have 13 shots to 8, but how many shots don't count as shots on goal, because they were wide or kicked upstairs by Cleveland. The saves, P.J. Johns has had the rougher night, although, as Seamus said, Zoltan Toth probably made the save of the series earlier when he robbed Carl Valentine the blocks. Sockers have blocked 2 more, and the fouls show Cleveland ahead, but Cleveland didn't show much discipline on those fouls, especially in the end there. They got 2 bad ones, and the worst one was really the foul on Craig Allen, because they already had the 5 fouls at the time, and then it really hurt them. Let's now go back downstairs to Seamus Mallon and the coach of the Cleveland Force, Timo Liakoski.
Thank you, JP. Timo Liakoski. Team, I'm sure you're sick and tired of people talking about missed opportunities, but is there a possibility of bringing in a couple of players like Ali Casamani or something to maybe get a little bit of luck for yourself?
Well, I think luck is a matter of making your own luck, and you know, we haven't taken the chances that we have had, and I think right now, you know, it's a lot of confidence too, because you know, now we don't think we can score, and what we need to do now is try to take San Diego out of their rhythm and try to force the issue and pick them up high and try to play man-to-man, and maybe win the ball back a little bit earlier and try to go for goal line so that we have numbers.
Is this because they've achieved too much possession for your liking in the first half?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, they start knocking it around and about, and then you get caught chasing, and next thing you know, they create chances from the opposite side, and they are very good at it. So I think we need to take chances 1 against 1, and if you get beat, then it's a matter of working hard to get back.
Thank you very much for joining us, Timo. Now back upstairs to you, JP.
Thank you, Seamus. There's a look at Ali Casamani, number 9, when he was healthy. 3 years ago, 38 goals, 21 assists, 59 points in 47 games. He has not matched any of those figures in 2 years combined because of his injuries, but he can play the game, and the Force hope that he can play at least one half. For the Cleveland Force, making the championship, it's the first time that a team from Cleveland has played for a championship since 1965-66, when the Cleveland Barons played for the American Hockey League Calder Cup, and they lost in 6 games to the Rochester Americans. And I'm frankly surprised that there's not more people here tonight and in the other game, but I think there are a lot of reasons for it. The Cleveland media has speculated on some, but the most important, as we look at that, seems to be that there was so much negative talk about the league during the salary cap situation that some people may have soured on it, weren't sure what was going to happen, and didn't pluck their money down, and then wanted to wait until the finals, and then all of a sudden Cleveland's down by 2. I don't know if there are any good excuses, because it seems like when a team has gotten to a championship, and Lord knows that this has been a very well-supported franchise, a lot of people will be surprised at the relatively low numbers here compared to what they've done in years past. Brian Quinn over the line. 4th quarter begins. Or 3rd quarter begins. Let's not rush it. Perez. Oh, and he scores. Right away off a deflection. Right away, Hugo Perez makes it a 3-0 lead. And after Timo Liakowski had those words with you, he's got to be rethinking about that. He's not even getting a chance to put that into action.
Well, what a strange shot by Perez, his first goal on the road in this series. It seemed like it took a little bit of a bend or screened. Some of the keeper was screened, but it got by Stolmeyer and got by P.J. Johns, and it's still a little hard to see exactly what happened to that shot.
I thought it was deflected. We'll take another check. Maybe it skimmed off the other shoulder of Stolmeyer. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it did look that way, actually. It looked like it hit the back of Stolmeyer or glanced off him. And that's Perez's first goal on the road in this series.
Well, guess who's tied now with Veee and Hermes and company? Perez 13th of the playoffs from Brian Quinn, 12 seconds into the 3rd quarter of play. Brian Quinn sending it back now to Zoltan Toth. Timo Liakowski talked about confidence. What do you think the Force players are thinking right now, knowing that they've got to score against Zoltan Toth, and they've spotted Zoli 3 goals? Kai Hoskevy with it in his own zone. Sending it ahead to Valentine. 3-0 San Diego with the lead. Back to Hoskevy, right at the midfield line. Now for DeLuca. Karich will play it back to Toth, who chests it down. Zoltan Toth holding it. Right side. Well, if Cleveland is able to come back in this one, we'll have Game 5 for you live and in its entirety on Thursday night. Otherwise, we'll cover the championship celebration tonight immediately following the game as Clavijo plays it up to Brian Quinn. San Diego trying to do what no team has ever done, and that's get a sweep in the best-of-7 championship series. Crow now to Quinn. Karich blocked by Hoskevy. Right side, played in now to Craig Allen. Allen in the corner against Crow. Blocked by Karich. Craig Allen, great ball. Walt Schmetzer cutting it. DeLuca right across, score! Craig Allen. Oh, they needed that.
Well, give some credit to Schmetzer here for getting rid of this ball really quickly so that the ball could come over to Craig Allen. Schmetzer with a very important touch here. And Cleveland back in it a little bit. So they're obviously going to be regretting the power play goal. That would have, if that hadn't happened, they'd be just 2-1 down. Now they're 3-1 down, but that's still an important early goal for him. This is the quick touch there by Schmetzer as he's tripped, and then DeLuca with a good pass and a fine touch by Allen. It's inconceivable. Well, maybe not inconceivable. They could have missed that one. They've missed easier ones than that. But well played across by DeLuca. Actually, I think DeLuca played the ball between Crow's legs because Crow was right there to block the pass, but lifted his leg to challenge, and the ball went right under it. And there was Craig Allen. Well, this will make it a little bit more interesting now.
Well, it's brought the crowd into the game. It's picked them up. Let's see what it does for the Force. Kazumeni with his first touch on the ball.
You just started talking about the post-game championship presentation. Maybe they heard that down there. And
I used the word if, remember? Ball is played back to Kazumeni. I'm careful. Play to the left side to Andy Schmetzer. Right side, Fernandez. Now it's Hugo Perez. Across the line and taken down with Felguera. Juli Veee, that'll cost him 2. Oh, both of them. Both of them. I didn't see the initial one. I just saw Felguera go down. So, what an inauspicious debut for Felguera.
Well, let's see if we can pick this up here. On the right-hand side of the screen, you see there scrambling around each other, and it looked to me like Falguera was just trying to get around Veee in order to get into a defensive position, and Veee swung at him with his arm or reached out his leg and knocked him over. But the referee came from behind that and thought they were both equally culpable. So off they go for two. Well, you're right, not a very auspicious beginning. We'll see if we can see it again. There's Falguera reaching around there, and well, you can't make much out of it there, but
they're calling holding. I heard that. You can see him reaching out for the jersey, and then Veee took him down, and they gave an elbow to Veee. Now it's Hermes on the left side, and Cleveland's got to be careful here with a 4-on-4 and open space for Clavijo. He's the most dangerous guy on the floor right now in a 4-on-4. 3-1. San Diego leading it. Out to Clavijo. Now it's back to Mocalis. Mocalis with a 4-on-4. Looking, top of the arc. Was going to leave it. Thinks better of that. Gives it up right side. Clavijo smacks it off the glass. Oh, what a great try there, but it's too high from Hermes. Headed away by Andy Schmetzer from Casamani off the boards. A good block, but it doesn't get a Cleveland roll. Hermes slowed down by Andy Schmetzer. And now in the left wing, Perez against Armstrong. We go Perez. Draws a couple of players. Plays it in the box for Hermes. Perez running in. Wide. Perez almost allowed to walk through, and it's played back to the neutral zone. In a minute, 2 seconds, each team will get their man back to the penalty box. Veee and Falguera, respectively, for San Diego and Cleveland. Perez. Nice touch off the boards to Clavijo. 11:41 to go in the third. Picked off Stolmeyer. And now it's back into the neutral zone. Mocalis after it. Gus Mocalis holding on to it.
Sort of a teasing pass there from Clavijo, but Stolmeyer was able to intercept it.
Fernandez right across for Hermes. Juan Hermes playing it back out to Fernandez. Back into the neutral zone, it's Kevin Crowe. Up for Perez against Armstrong, who slipped and fell down with some little bit of a contact. Now it's Perez, right across Hermes. Left footer save, P.J. Johns. Loose ball, and now Casamani gets it. That's the hardest shot Hermes has taken. He's got an injured left foot in this entire series. Going along with his right, missing with his left, but he cranked that up. Here's Kaz. Ali Casamani backhailing it for Stolmeyer. He hesitated, then he crunched Quinn.
Well, he certainly did crunch Quinn, knowing that Quinn was off to the races if he did not take him down. But not a very well left ball by Casamani as he was directing traffic. But you see a good touch by Quinn, who was about to start streaking downfield. Lucky Stolmeyer, I think, not to get 2 minutes there. The penalties are over. He's back to 5 apiece on the field.
Brian Quinn will give it back to Toth. Zoltan picks it up, throws, looks for Veee off an easy touch, but Walt Schmetzer is there. Schmetzer holds on to it. Crossed away to Falguera. Used to play on the Portuguese national team indoors, and he's got a lot of skill, but he's still learning the game. Off the boards. DeLuca to Falguera, headed away by Veee. Haskavy to Falguera. Rui, Falguera on the dribble, now plays it into Valentine. Not a good ball, but it gets free to DeLuca. Cleared away, though, by Fernandez at the last moment. They're going to say he did it purposely. Yeah. So they'll make it at the top of the arc. 3-1, Sockers lead, but Cleveland showing some positive signs. Back live here in Cleveland. 3-1, San Diego Sockers with the lead, but watch out for Haskavy. He scored in game 3 the other night right there from 34 feet out on a set piece when Karic moved. Haskavy plays it across, and it was blocked by Quinn. Unselfish play by Valentine to try and find Allen. That would have been a great goal for Cleveland to pull them within 1. They're down by a couple. Valentine against Ladasura. Valentine fighting hard. Now with 2 players, still played it across, blocked. Up again was Valentine. Valentine at Veee. And now it's Quinn leading it for Crowe, and then Crowe at the last second couldn't get to it. Looked like a good ball, but then it seemed to die off those boards. DeLuca for Haskavy. Blocked, but he knocked it away from Quinn. Schmetzer, great tackle from Quinn. Oh, he goes all out. Homer away. You can build clubs around players like Brian Quinn.
Yeah. Well, some good tackles in there also by Cleveland, showing a lot of determination.
Walt Schmetzer,
now.
good hustle. Ball cleared back, and Walt Schmetzer has to go back forward in the Cleveland force zone, right inside the red line. 9:15 to go in the third, but the force showing some life. Played up to Craig Allen. Allen, top of the arc. Across the way to Hoskevee. Kai Hoskevee holding it. In the corner for Allen. Allen leaving it off. Hoskevee off the boards. Valentine save. Rebound off the boards again. Mr. Toth was there again. On the left wing side, Veee. Bothered by Allen. And Allen clipped Veee, and he's going off. Craig Allen has really taken some questionable penalties and fouls in this entire series. And that time when he kicked at Juli Veee, it was right in front of S.E. Bahamas. Now, I don't know if we'll see that Veee goaded him, but even if that was the case, I don't think so. Let's watch.
Well, Juli does keep his elbows out a lot, but nonetheless,
See it there, did he?
didn't see any provocation there, and a really killing penalty here by Allen, because they certainly don't need to be a man down again. There's Juli coming away from the boards. Everything looks calm here, but not much doubt about that. No hope for playing the ball. Just simply kicks the player, and you kick a player, you should sit down for 2 minutes.
And Craig Allen will watch this one from the penalty box view. Right side, Quinn. Over the line, Sockers can nullify that last Cleveland goal if they score here. Dougherty, the shot, and he just missed. Dougherty just missing, had a great chance. There's Michael King coming back. Right side boards. DeLuca. And now plays it back to Stillmeyer. To Mepham, now to DeLuca. Stillmeyer right back to P.J. Johns. Karich on the chase. Johns beating him. He's got to be careful. Gives it off to Stillmeyer, up to Michael King.
This is very good penalty killing. Amazing, they have one fewer player to play with, and it's been their best passing of the evening.
Yeah, well, they're concentrating more. They know that they can't afford to give up another goal here. Good effort by this foursome. Force have been #1 throughout the MISL regular season in penalty killing. Left side, Brian Quinn. It's a Force power play that has struggled. They were 0 for 6 coming into the game tonight. Right side, Perez. He has 1 goal already. Hugo Perez bringing it up across the midfield line. 43 seconds left in the power play. To Juli Veee. Veee, right side boards to Hermes. Juan Hermes rolling it. Trying to cut it back, blocked, and Jay Hoffman makes a nice catch on the Force bench, their assistant coach. Timo Liakoski, the head coach of the Force, there's his assistant, Jay Hoffman. They've been together for several years. Ron Newman on the other side, assisted by Johan Arnio. Had a long talk with Ron Newman. Didn't realize that he was a drill instructor in the British Army. And we're going back several years, and I said, did that teach you discipline? He said, a little bit of discipline, but mostly it taught me voice projection. I'm able to yell at the players and the referees, and everybody can hear me. That's his assistant right there, Johan Arnio, in front of Kevin Crowe. On the left side, it's Juli Veee for Karich. Karich went from sitting in the stands to coming back and being a part of the regular unit as he's nailed and a foul is called. Karich originally started in the series. They're going to call that foul on San Diego.
Yeah.
Karich originally started, Seamus, in the series earlier, was benched, sat in the stands in the Kansas City series, and then he got another chance when Ketter didn't do the job, and now he's in there.
14 seconds to go.
Dougherty knocking it back, King chasing it, but Kevin Crowe is there, down to 7 seconds on the power play to Juli Veee. Against DeLuca, beat him to midfield. Juli Veee, great ball for Dougherty, right across, and not a good pass to Karich, but Juli Veee did a fine job. Penalty is over. Allen the other way, a chance for Cleveland. Tackled that by Clavillo, but Allen stays with it. Off those boards, King blocked, cleared but not out. Michael King, a shot, and he just got underneath it. Trying to rush it and it went upstairs, but some good hustle by the Cleveland Force. We've got an official's timeout on the floor, and with 6:28 to go in the third quarter, the crowd has come to life, and so have the Force, but they're still down by a couple. It's 3-1, San Diego.
Well, Craig Allen trying to get the offense going a little bit. He's had an inconsistent game, but he tries to play this one off the boards, and it sets up King pretty well. He battles for it, loses it, gets it back. Allen battles for it, but it'll roll back to King again, and he'll turn and try to shoot it through the crowd of players, and in his haste, knocks it over the top. It was a good chance, but more of a half chance than a full chance, and nothing is easy frankly, as some of the ones that have gone to begging. I haven't noticed Paul Kitson
No,
out
not a show.
in this particular quarter. Maybe they've decided he's just simply not on tonight.
Well, I think the plan initially was to play Kitson maybe for a half and play Casamani, and if Kitson had done well, then maybe Kaz doesn't come on, but it was no secret that he was not doing well in any phase of his game. And I'd be surprised, frankly, if we did see him back, unless Casamani can't go or there's something wrong with Bliss. But we'll see. Still a long way from the finish. 6:21 to go in the third. Restart here for the force. Hoskevy up for DeLuca. Knocks it into the corner to Craig Allen. Allen turning up the boards. Got a block on it was Quinn. And now Karich. Left side, Ladouceur. Jacques Ladouceur to midfield. On the go, played it across. Brian Quinn against Hoskevy. Nice job by Captain Guy Hoskevy. Long ball for Allen. Toth is out. Allen up the boards. Doesn't get a great roll. Valentine steals. Right across, nobody home. Craig Allen exciting the fans now to Hoskevy. Bump by Ladouceur to give to DeLuca. Almost not enough on that one. Allen with a good block. He's working hard there, but Ladouceur steals it. 3-on-2 as the Sockers break it out. Karich. Good defensive change for Cleveland as Armstrong comes on. Ladouceur in the box area. Blocked by Hoskevy. Karich blocked. Walt Schmetzer just picked his pocket.
Wow,
it's like a stump in the NBA.
That's the best Cleveland has played at both ends of the floor, I think, all night. Very heads-up play by Allen, almost getting a goal as the keeper was out.
Off the boards, Valentine. Played back to Toth. Zoltan Toth spins away. Long throw up the wing. That's closer to Desmond Armstrong than it is to Hermes. Played back to P.J. Johns. Rolls it ahead, he missed Casamani, but he'll find Stolmeyer. John Stolmeyer for Valentine off the boards. He tried to fool Toth, and actually looked like a pretty intelligent play on Valentine's part.
Yeah, he sure did. He was also trying to fool Clavijo, who was not buying it, but good attempt by Valentine, who's looking a lot sharper.
Perez knocks into the box off a soft touch. Ruotolo trying to get that one on the fly. And now Johns up the middle. Andy Schmetzer. He and Casamani run into each other. Andy Schmetzer reverses it right side to Felguera. Rui Felguera looking for Andy Schmetzer, detained by Mocalis. Here's Armstrong, blocked by Ruotolo. Looked like a good chance for Desmond Armstrong. Hugo Perez coming back. It's a 3-1 lead here for San Diego. Juli Veee up the wing. Perez knocks it back into the neutral zone. Mocalis with Clavijo. Fernando Clavijo holding it against Andy Schmetzer. Right side ball played to Mocalis in front of the force bench. Now to Juli Veee. Broken up. John Stolmeyer. Here he comes. Second-year pro. One of the rising young American stars in the MISL. Knocks it back to Desmond Armstrong. Over the line. He's got daylight. Andy Schmetzer free on the right wing. Schmetzer across. Wide. Rui Felguera trying to settle it. Brian Quinn on him. There's that foot skill we were talking about before. And then he's nailed by Brian Quinn. Foul called. It'll be the second on San Diego. But that's the dimension Felguera will bring to this club. And they'd like to get him the ball, like for him to be able to dance one-on-one if he can, and then eventually get a good shot and make the good pass. Craig Allen. Right side, Casamani. Against Perez. Beat him there nicely. Kaz in the corner. Right across deflection. Score! The Force are back in it.
Well, Casamani, you mentioned at halftime, JP, could he come off the bench and do things? Well, he has done something quite magical here. He's gotten a goal out of nothing off a defender. When they couldn't put in the easy ones, they get him the hardware, knocking them in off the ankles of the opposition.
So Ali Casamani has an important playoff. He's only had a few, but every one of them have counted for the Force. They're within a goal.
Well, here's the goal that we just seen. Casamani doing it all himself, getting very nicely away from Perez, and then trying to face Mocalis. He flicks it in and hits a defender. Was it Clavijo of all people? Well, it happens to the best of them, and in it goes. Well, they've not had any breaks, but we talked about the halftime about making your breaks, or at least Coach Liakowski did, and there was a break made by a piece of skill by Casamani in beating Perez, and then knocking it off Clavijo's ankle.
Long ball up the glass, and P.J. Johns makes that catch. Up for Valentine. Knock back to Hoskey. Great defensive change that time by San Diego. It could have been a numbers advantage for Cleveland. Hoskey right back. Allen poked away. Schmetzer blocked. Allen scored. Tied.
Well, I think they just disconnected the fat lady's mic. But here's the shot. I think initially by Schmetzer, blocked away, and Allen with the follow-up, and in it goes. Valentine doing a good screening job on Toth, but the first shot comes through, blocked by Mokalis. The follow-up, as is so important in soccer, the indoor variety, the follow-up hammered in by Allen, who finally has found the touch. And a very important goal ties it up, and Cleveland is finally beginning to look as though they belong here.
And San Diego calls a smart timeout, maybe trying to get the crowd out of it and get the Sockers up. A lot of signs, feel the force and we believe. And these fans are into it. There's not a great crowd in here, but they're as noisy as a crowd can be in the MISL. And they're with them, but it was that second goal that they scored by Casamani that gave the crowd the spark, gave them a chance to come back in.
That's
and
right.
The Allen goal is certainly worth watching one more time, so here's another look.
Well, as ever, Kai Haskeby, of course, doing some work. What else is new? The ball played back, and the first shot that comes in, Toth goes wide to his right. Now, you see Toth's on the ground there. See him on the right, and he does not get back in time. And in indoor soccer, that's always one of the critical things. Can your keeper recover after the first shot? You can't look around for the ball when you're the goalkeeper. You got to immediately spring back to the center of the goal. He had committed himself. Mokalis made the block. The ball ran finally favorably for a Cleveland player, and Allen made no mistake with the empty net as Valentine got out of the way. But JP, maybe more important than anything else, keep in mind that we all talked about what must they do after the half, and the first thing they were faced with was giving up a goal. Now, did they have the reserves of character to come back and so forth? Well, the answer is a definite yes. They have come back, gotten 3 goals in the space of 12 minutes or 10 minutes, and they really show that there is some heart there. And there's still a long ways to go in this one.
2:58 left. We're only in the third quarter.
And we have to ask the question also that we asked in the Kansas City series with San Diego. When they get ahead late in the game, do they get a little bit casual?
Well, I think in this case, unlike the Kansas City series, you're up 3 games to none and hoping to sweep tonight as Hermes draws a foul. Foul called on Juan Hermes. So Cleveland has just the 1 foul, and San Diego with 3 of them. Hermes plays it back to Toth, and Hermes right now has some words with Andy Schmetzer. And they're still talking to one another as they walk up the floor. George Fernandez back to Zoltan Toth.
Well, you know, if they're having words, you're the Cleveland coach, you got to be happy with that. I mean, that means people are finally beginning to, the adrenaline's beginning to flow, they're getting a little mad. And, but so long as they keep it within restraints, they can turn that into a power of good.
Zoltan Toth. I think the biggest thing, and we haven't even talked about it, is the confidence Cleveland must be feeling right now. They've beaten Toth and the Sockers for 3 goals. Stolmeyer trying to make it 4. Perez kicks it straight up. And now it's Karich. Left side to Hermes. Knocking it back to Mokalis. Right side, Fernandez. Perez now looking for it.
Well, Stolmeyer just...
Whoop. Foul called on
Stolmeyer just
Cleveland.
absolutely determined to make Perez's life miserable. Cleveland bench feeling that Perez pulled him.
Yeah, well, John Brett had a good view of that.
Yeah.
Maybe better than anyone, and that's why he was complaining.
Well, that's
Another
a bad foul, though. But John's got to keep his cool. They're at 4, but there's a minute and 50 to go.
Well, Andy Schmetzer just gave a little extra to Perez, but they call it on Perez. Well, I'm not going to try to figure those out, even at 4.
Calls Perez for pulling him. Let's see if we can see it on the replay. Schmetzer with the challenge here. Well, he just sort of pushes him away, but that's a little bit questionable, but never mind.
Valgora tripped up by Karich, but play on, say the officials. Quinn along the boards. Well, Karich broken up. And bodies start to hit the deck everywhere. 5 on San Diego.
A minute and a half to go. They're 1 on 5, the other on 4. The 4 says 4.
Casamani up the boards. Or Valentine looking for Casamani. That almost worked. Now at the right point area. Walt Schmetzer, left footer. Off the glass, wide. Juan Hermes after it. Off the boards to Karich. Look out, 3 on 2. Karich over the line to Hermes. Nice cutback, right footer blocked. Another good bounce for San Diego.
Oh, boy, Desmond Armstrong almost had the rebound into his own net.
Hermes now out to Fernandez, over to Kroll. A minute to go right now. Third quarter. Tied at 3. Juli Veee. Off a quick shot now by Hermes, but a whistle had sounded, and Johns is upset, I believe, that Hermes took the shot. But they're calm. That should be 6 fouls. 6 fouls on San Diego. In fairness to Hermes, I don't think he ever heard a whistle anyway when he shot it. There's 7,110 fans. They sound like double that at least right now.
Well, I think they've finally gotten what they paid for. That is, their home team starting to play like the home team they've known. And they've really taken it to San Diego. But you still see San Diego with that great counter-attacking possibility, but they've managed to nullify it. We're in the 6 foul situation now. The foul occurred before that. Yeah. And there's Johns just dumping Hermes. But the foul, as you say, occurred at the top of the box.
Seamus, Cleveland has never led since goal number 1. That's a nice sign. They've not led since goal number 1 in the championship series. Here's a great chance to get some momentum going into the fourth quarter because they've got a power play.
Right. And on the other hand, we must warn our viewers that the man-down situation is something that San Diego doesn't worry too much about. They can counterattack from that, too.
In fact, they thrive on it. Mr. Clavillo scores him shorthanded as well as he can the other way. Casamani with it. He's made a difference since coming out in the second half, and he probably would have been, not probably, he would have been playing earlier, but he's got the bad groin. Valentine to Casamani. Right footer wide. But he can fire him with the best of them in the MISL. Haskavy against Fernandez. Fernandez takes him down. Watch Kai with a quick restart to Casamani. Avoids a Fernandez hit. Casamani slides it. Haskavy pushing it. Valentine holding it to Craig Allen. Allen holding it. 3 seconds. 2. Valentine across. Haskavy a header. He knows time was running out and was stopped in front. He knew time was running out, and that's it for 3 quarters. But when the fourth quarter begins, the Force will have 1 minute and 8 seconds to try and generate something. Time is running out here, Seamus. The clock's on about 3.
That's right. A good ball played across into space by Valentine, as you said. He knew that there was no time there. I thought he would try to hammer it with a side volley, but he opted for the risky header.
So the Cleveland Force have come back. They've shown the character. We'll see if they have more to win it. Budweiser, the king of beers and proud charter sponsor of the Major Indoor Soccer League, is pleased to be presenting this portion of the championship series and bringing you some exciting highlights, in fact, Seamus, from the third quarter when the Force really started to generate and come to life.
Well, it started disastrously. The power play was, the period is only 5 seconds on, and Perez just sort of takes it wide and then fires the shot off, and we thought it seemed to deflect a little bit off maybe off Stolmeyer, but I think it clearly fooled Johns, who has been immense in goal. And that looked like a real backbreaker because Cleveland had not come close to scoring. But about a minute and 30 later, Allen played the ball in, and then Schmetzer very nicely gave it away. DeLucas flipped it over, and there was Allen ready to tuck it in for his first goal of the evening, and a much-needed goal. That put him at 3-1. Well, then they have to battle for 10 more minutes. And it was all individual effort for the next one. Casamani does a very good job getting away from Perez, who is a forward and not a very good defender. Little fake, he lunges in, sells himself. Now Casamani, faced by Morales, fires this ball in. It hits off Clavillo and rockets over the shoulder, a surprising tote, and that made it 3-2 at 11:37, unassisted goal. Well, only about 25 seconds after that, Cleveland once again were on the board. Schmetzer shot, the follow-up by Allen. Allen's second goal of the night. And at 12:02, they tied at 3. And here they are in the power play situation now.
So the fourth quarter begins. The fans are ready. Let's see if the Force is ready. Casamani to midfield. Right side to Valentine. Carl Valentine right across to Haskavy. To Casamani again from 40 feet out in the box. Quick flick was wide by Stolmeyer. Haskavy to Casamani again. Stollmeyer leads this club with 4 power plays. Valentine in the box, and it was just wide. He had a chance to shoot that one. Unselfishly gave it up, and it looked like his teammates weren't expecting it.
That was a very good piece of power play passing, though. Very well held. Oops, here comes this possible
There he comes again.
counterattack. Yeah.
Clavijo plays it across. I think some of the fans around the country that don't get a chance to watch Clavijo too often, Seamus, can really appreciate him in a series because they see him repeatedly. And in this case, it's been 4 games. If it goes longer, it could be the full 7. But I think that's when you appreciate the skill of players like that. You got to see him every day. Casamani with Stollmeyer, 13 seconds left in the power play. Casamani beating Fernandez, right side of Valentine. 8 seconds on the man advantage. Haskavy right across. Great diving play by Clavijo as the force had a couple players open. Penalty is over. Casamani in the box, and Haskavy tipped it wide. It looked like he was passing to Stollmeyer. All the way back now to Valentine. Soccer's back in full strength. Haskavy tucking it for Stollmeyer, blocked. Valentine trying to keep it alive, and now it's Brian Quinn coming back in a 3-3 tie. Quinn over the line, 3-on-3. Holding it top of the arc. Across Dougherty, shot, score, Paul Dougherty. And the smallest man on the field looms pretty large right now with a go-ahead goal.
Well, terrific finishing by Paul Dougherty with a smile a mile wide there, as well he ought to have. A great ball played across to him. Very patient San Diego counterattack that we've talked about. Quinn, as the player goes down, Clavijo it was, and the ball just played gently across. A nice pass by Quinn to Dougherty. We'll take a look at this. The pass beats a couple of players. He fakes it. He's got 2 defenders there. And it's just hammered beautifully by Dougherty. Keeps it nice and low, and not very much of a chance for P.J. Johnson, who has gone to the far post, and Dougherty celebrates as well he should.
Did Dougherty forget to do his flip there? He must be hurt. Unless he did the flip after I turned away. Usually he gives it that nice forward roll. Ball played into the corner. DeLuca off the boards. That goal coming at 1:31 of the 4th quarter. Dougherty 7th of the playoffs from Quinn. Felguero pokes it ahead, intended for Quinn, broken up, and then Felguero was leveled by Ladouceur. An elbowing foul. I think Cleveland would have liked a little more than that, but Felguero is down. Let's take another look and see how this happened.
Yeah, well, he just pushes them away with his hand, and it's a pretty
Open hand.
severe open-handed push there on his face. Might have caught him in the eye, in fact. Here comes Brian Bliss.
No, Seamus, in the last quarter, the goals by Casamani and Allen were 25 seconds apart, again showing how quickly the game can change indoors. But again, Cleveland gives up a bad goal in the first couple of minutes in the next half, and the next quarter. It was right after they had the man advantage as we look at the #1 draft choice, Brian Bliss. Schmetzer, too high on that shot. Going to be a goal kick coming up for Zoltan Toth. 13:09 left in the game, but the Force have shown the ability to come from behind before.
Well, it was a tough goal to give up. You're right. On the other hand, it was polished finishing again by San Diego, who do this so well. It seems like any player that you pick on their team to whom you play a ball around the goal area with half a chance is going to either score or make a really first-rate attempt on goal. There are very, very few miss hits.
Mocalis from Toth, intended for Hermes, but Veee may end up with it. Juli Veee in the corner holds all of the soccer's lifetime scoring records during the regular season. Hermes slipping a bit. Now to Mocalis. Up for Veee. Juli Veee got a poke at it, but not enough. And now it's P.J. Johns. One thing that this overall series has done, it's created an awareness too in P.J. Johns. He's finally getting his due. 29 consecutive starts, and he's been the defensive player of the game in several of those during the regular season as well as playoffs. So maybe next year he will not be as underrated or as unsung a goalkeeper as he has been throughout his MISL career. Ron Newman scratching his head. He knows that he's got 12 minutes and 31 seconds, but he knows that a lot can happen in 12:31. In fact, that game against Kansas City scored 4 or 5 goals in that time. So they're not counting this one as a victory yet. They're not putting it in the V column or the W column, whichever you prefer to call it. Clavijo will play it back to Mocalis. Broken up by Walt Schmetzer. Casamani. With 12:22 to go. All kinds of time. 4-3, San Diego with the lead. Desmond Armstrong. Back to Casamani. Against Rod Hermes. Left side, Andy Schmetzer. Playing it into Bliss. Brian Bliss to the outside, then lost it. Armstrong in there battling. Same with Bliss. The force collapsing there. Almost get it. Now coming in on a gamble. They lost it. Stolmeyer missed it. Here's Fabrizi. 2-on-1. Hermes. Great run from the right side. Fabrizi trying to cut it back, and they lose the advantage. All the way back now to McAllis. And now it's Perez. Well, when you're the last line of defense back there, as Stolmeyer was, if you miss it, it can lead to a breakaway, and that's basically what happened. Down the left side, Perez. Double team. Perez going down, as does Casamani. Going to call a foul on Cleveland. It'll be their first. San Diego have a couple. From just beyond the corner kick spot, Gus McAllis will put it in play. Off the boards, you want a Clavillo, it doesn't get there. Hermes back for it. Into the neutral zone for Karich. Zoran Karich. Bothered by Bliss. Karich still with it. Pushed that by Bliss. A little contact there by both. McAllis up for Quinn. Knocked on the left side for Fernandez. And now Perez and Schmetzer both go down. I think in that case the officials aren't sure who caused the problem, so they let it go. Casamani against Quinn. Look at that relentless pressure from Brian Quinn.
Yeah, Quinn almost seemed to know that they were at a line change and he had no one to pass to.
Into the corner, Walt Schmetzer, great hustle. Fernandez going down. Loose ball, but Allen just couldn't come up with it. And now it's Toth to Ladouceur.
Great effort by Schmetzer there, just really giving up the body, hurling into the boards, and almost creating something.
Ball played back to Zoltan Toth. Up for Brian Quinn. Sent back as Walt Schmetzer was right on his tail. Up the wing for Juli Veee. Veee against Armstrong. Armstrong won't give him much, but Veee keeps trying and he beats him that time. Puts it in for Ladouceur. Ladouceur spinning. Shooting a diving save for P.J. Johns. Johns up with it and looking. 7,110 on hand. Some 500 handicapped fans watching this one. Sponsored by the Ford Motor Company. It was a nice gesture on their part. They're part of the crowd here. We're honoring Ford at halftime. Up now to Veee. Juli Veee to the right side. Getting around his man. Johns coming out. They played the advantage. A Crow shot is blocked. S.E. Baharmist on the other side didn't want to take away an advantage and give away a chance for San Diego to score, so that's why there was no foul call when Veee was detained.
Yeah, and Schmetzer is the one who did it, and he's hurt.
Yeah, may have hurt. Yeah, he did hurt himself. He had to go all out to stop him. Veee tried to leave it off for Quinn, didn't work. Walt Schmetzer now he'll have a chance to go off, and he'll take advantage of that. Craig Allen with a 9:28 to go in the game, and maybe in the season for the Force, unless they come back and tie at the very least and force it overtime. But there's a long way to go. Hermes coming back over midfield, making it a 3-on-2. Put it between the legs of Allen on the right side for Dougherty. Nice job. John Stolmeyer was not going to lose that ball for DeLuca. Stolmeyer right side to Hoskevy. Guy Hoskevy with it. Stolmeyer gives it everything he's got. To the midfield line. Right side Hoskevy. Playing it in for Valentine. Turning, shooting. It was partially blocked. But that's the way Valentine can be very dangerous on that quick turn. DeLuca to Hoskevy at the right point. Kai Hoskevy in his 56th straight playoff game. He and Valentine almost run into each other, then Crow bumped into him. Third foul in San Diego. It's kicked straight up by Fernandez. Headed down to Valentine. Neutral zone Stolmeyer. To Armstrong. Right side Hoskevy. Force trying to get themselves back into a tie, win the game, and force game 5 on Thursday night right here. Off the boards, it got by Toth. Score! It's tied again, Craig Allen.
Well, both Allen and Armstrong were there, and you know, I sort of held my breath for a minute because the way things have gone for them, they might have contrived to knock it out of the goal instead of into the goal.
Well, when it's a goal scored anyone else, Craig Allen's going to get it. His 10th goal of the year from Valentine, and guess what? It's tied again at 4. We'll be back.
Well, Cleveland will simply not quit, and they're down 4-3, but they battle and battle back. And here you see what's happened. Carl Valentine comes over to ask for the ball. He takes it, hammers it off the boards. It gets by Toth on the inside, and Armstrong is there, and Allen is there. They make no mistake, and we're tied at 4 with 8:16 to go in regulation. There you go again. Off the boards, Toth makes an uncharacteristic mistake. He's usually very safe on that ball off the wall at the near post, which is, of course, a tricky thing. But he's got to be unhappy with his performance there.
Right.
As he allowed Cleveland essentially to tie this one up.
Normally he stops those, as Allen had his 3 goals tonight. He's got the hat trick. That ball may have taken a great spin off of Valentine's pick, and it handcuffed Toth, and it got by him. And for once, though, the Force had 2 players there to take advantage of the error. In other cases, nothing would have happened for him, especially in that last game. In the last game, Armstrong and Allen probably would have run into each other, knocked themselves down, and then San Diego scores on a break. Clavillo leads it the other way for McAllis. Valguera after him. McAllis across, break, save off Carrick.
What a great move, a superb pass out of the back from Clavillo to McAllis. So when Clavillo stays, McAllis goes, and Carrick almost tucked it in.
Valguera playing it up to Casamani. Taken down by McAllis, foul. 4th foul at San Diego. When they write about this series, no one could say P.J. Johns let them down.
Boy, what a super save. Really, that was the save of the game. I mentioned Toth's being super, and it was super, but this one loomed larger because of when it happened.
That's a deflection as well, much like in hockey. Those are tough. You don't know what's going to happen. The speed, the direction, anything. Casamani leads it for Armstrong, a 4-4 tie. Desmond Armstrong. Force really showing a lot tonight. Played into Schmetzer. Trying to turn, he's taken out, 5th foul. 5 fouls. Well, Valguera's had about 5 shifts, and he's been on the carpet 4 or 5 times.
Well, Valguera was fouled, and then
Andy Schmetzer
was also fouled, and I thought it was a late whistle because Valguera, when he laid the ball off, you see him being blocked there by Perez, and there's the hack in there by McAllis, who whacks Andy Schmetzer around the ankle. We're going to take a look at that wonderful save after this great ball out of the back by Clavillo to McAllis. McAllis now at the end of that pass, and he's just going to knock it straight across the goal where Karich is there just to touch it home, and just a super sprawling commitment by Johns, who knew exactly what to do there. Had no time to think about it, just instinct took over.
Walt Schmetzer is down. They appear to be looking at his left knee. We'll talk about it and more when we come back. It's all even at 4 from Richfield, Ohio. He's coming back, and just how serious it is after being fouled by McAllis, the 5th foul on San Diego. But remember P.J. Johns, when we showed him earlier, the quote that he came up with? It's very appropriate now. San Diego's a good team, but I don't think our team will ever give up against anybody. That could be the understatement of tonight's game, especially if Cleveland comes back and wins it. 7:23 left, regulation time, even at 4. 2 of these games have already gone sudden death overtime. Haskeby shooting it, save, rebound was just blocked. Valentine turned it around. And it's kicked up by DeLuca out of play. But how about Zoltan told Seamus? And it's not necessarily a reflection on him, but 3 saves, and he's given up 4 goals.
Well, he, again, doesn't look steady in this one. He gets down on it well, but gives the ball away. He saw it late, of course, and then DeLuca just hammers it up in the crowd. He did that twice in the 4th quarter last game. Yeah, he was actually moving to his left. The ball came to his right, and he had to dive for it. But the scramble in front results in nothing. And we're back live.
Zoltan Toth.
Let's remind you, 5 fouls on San Diego, 1 foul on Cleveland.
Juli Veee against Schmetzer.
2. 2 on Cleveland. Well, with 7:03 to go, the 5 foul situation could loom quite large, although Cleveland has had trouble getting much out of their power play, if they get one.
Right side, Clavillo. And you know they've got to be at least thinking about going to somebody that can draw that 6th foul and give them an advantage. Veee and Walt Schmetzer were in the air, and it goes out of play. They're going to give the ball to San Diego.
Yeah, that's a good point, JP. I think, you know, you get a player like Verguera on, or somebody like, shall we say, Casamani, who are willing to take on players and draw a lot of attention. They can draw that 6th foul.
Walt Schmetzer, or Andy Schmetzer, I'm sorry, we're told, sprained his left ankle, not his knee. I thought they were working on his knee when he was down. Here's a Quinn shot. Straight up it goes, off of a block and out of play. So a restart coming up. Remember, Game 5 is here Thursday if Cleveland wins this. If not, San Diego tonight will win their 6th championship in the last 7 years. Truly a dynasty like any you can name in any sport. Clavillo and Quinn with the ball on the near side. Try to fake out the opposition. Now Clavillo played it into the box, but it's headed out by DeLuca. Quinn puts it back into V. Against Walt Schmetzer, off the boards wide. It ricochets out to Craig Allen. Allen cutting it back for Hoskeby. 3-on-4. Kai plays it ahead on the left of Valentine against Clavillo. Carl Valentine burns him to the inside a bit, but then Toth is right there. Nice move inside by Valentine against Clavillo. 6.5 to play. Regulation time, tied at 4. Armstrong on the steal and a great line change. He came right out, got it. Hoskeby blocked by Crow. San Diego still with the 5 fouls. 3-on-2. 3-on-2. Lead ball, Clavillo. Quinn joining him. Shot, save, rebound. Quinn after. Great save. P.J. Johns. Lead pass on the left wing for Valentine. By himself. Couple of fakes. Still with the ball. Carl Valentine, some great dribbling. Pushing it to Armstrong. In for Stolmeyer. Back for Desmond Armstrong. Can't tell you enough about those last 2 saves Johns made. He's got to be the MVP of the game if Cleveland wins it, despite Allen's 3 goals. Right side, Armstrong. Save Toth. Comes back out. Kicks straight up by Hermes. And all the way back into the 4 zone. P.J. Johns with a trap. Beat the first player in. Oh, P.J.'s on fire. A race for the ball. Johns will win this one. Knocks it ahead. Crow and Allen battle. And our cameraman almost had a better view of that than anybody.
Boy, P.J. Johns, your heart goes up into your mouth when he comes out, but he's made no mistakes on his dribbles.
Well, he stopped Clavillo, and then he stopped Quinn, and kept this game tied at 4. 5:24 remaining in regulation, even at 4. Back in the action, here's San Diego, and the push pass ahead to Clavillo, and then you'll see the 2-on-1 break develop, and Chambers was all P.J. after that.
It was. He was moving to his left, had to dive to his right, and then he has to quickly recover. Quinn gets to that near post and smothers a terrific reaction to the first shot, and then great recovery.
I think the goal judge could be forgiven if the light even blinked there, but it did not. 13 saves for Johns tonight, but several spectacular like that one. Or those ones. 2 of them. Great sequence. And great shots, too, by the camera crew showing the angles of those and how difficult it was for Johns to make the recovery. Here's Dougherty coming back. Knocked back the other way.
Yeah, Michael King, looking a little uncomfortable out there with some of his passing.
Might be a little rusty, has not had too much time in the championship series. Karich beating Stolmeyer and then tripped up close to 2 minutes. And that's what the Sockers bench is going to be thinking about.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to give 2 minutes unless it's assault and battery at this point.
5 fouls still on San Diego. Ball played across, blocked. Casumani after it. Ron Newman was worried a bit about the overconfidence factor. He knew that San Diego would like to win it, but he knew that Cleveland would be playing loose and under no pressure. And he's seeing that Cleveland team play that way and come back and end up tying it. Armstrong over the line. Pushing it. Shot. Save. Toth. Off Michael King. And if Michael King thinks he was robbed there, he's right.
Well, I don't know if he was of 2 minds about that one, JP, because the shot was not really very powerful. It looked like a half-cross, half-shot. You know, not sure what he had in mind, but let's see. Good rush by Armstrong. So you see, it's sort of a half stride. It's a push, and I guess maybe he was trying to get the shot away, but he had a bit more time than he had thought. Again, very easy for us to say up here with 4 minutes to go, and you need the winning goal.
Casumani for Michael King. Leaving it off. Casumani, one-time rookie of the year to Stolmeyer. Wide. That shot was traveling. Good rate of speed. Armstrong against Dougherty. Neutral zone, Casumani. Wants somebody to show for the ball. That was his signal. Plays it up for King. Not a good touch now off Stolmeyer. Fernandez in the corner, blocked. He's double teamed. Pushed 3 to King. Turnout shot blocked. Comes out to Armstrong. He hesitated. He thought the ball was going to be lost. Now Armstrong. Falguera hits the deck again. 3-on-2. And now 3-on-3 as Falguera comes back to Brizzi. Falling down or push down? Push down. 4 fouls. So Cleveland one time was down 5-1 in fouls. Now they've got 4 fouls.
Well, if there's ever such thing as a good foul, and I really don't think there is, but it was a fortuitous foul indeed. But although he had 2 defenders in front of him, so maybe they could have taken care of it. That's the 4th, as you mentioned, on the force, but still 5.
Back drive, long ball to Falguera, but Clavillo was there. Falguera showed some speed there. Good pass from the back.
Yeah. Ironically, his very good touch abandoned him just when he needed it most, though.
Crow in a corner off the boards. It's wide of everyone. DeLuca after it against Quinn. Blocked. Quinn did the job to win it out to Perez. Shot scooped up by P.J. Johns. Oh, P.J. Johns. This coming up so big. Felguera lost the touch there. Poked away by Hermes. 3-on-3 again. Perez off the post. B holding. Played it back. Perez again. Shot deflected in. Score for San Diego with 3:07 to play. Hugo Perez, second goal of the night. And after all that work and all the great saves, they lost it again after they had control.
But it just shows you how your mistakes get punished by a superb professional outfit as this group is. Perez getting in here, the steal executed beautifully, and then the ball for Veee. Veee does not panic, cuts it back. Perez gets the shot off with the left foot, and you know, P.J. Johns almost got to that one. He clawed away at it and tipped it, but very cool heads-up play by Veee. Here's Perez after he's won the ball. He fires in the shot. It comes off the boards. Veee has a chance to take a shot, but instead of shooting it, he draws the keeper down and plays it beautifully to Perez, who has a little trouble getting it, and then knocks it in.
John's got a piece of
that.
Yeah,
that's what I said. John did get a piece on it. Ironically, I think if he hadn't, the defender on the line might have been able to get this one. Let's look at it. See, the defender was right on the line there?
Yes.
That was Stolmeyer, I think. If that ball had not been touched by John, Stolmeyer had an easy clearing header.
Now,
such is the luck of the game.
Perez, 14th goal of the playoffs from Veee at 11:53. Walt Schmetzer, not Andy. Andy wore the goalkeeper's jersey in the previous games in which they've used a sixth attacker, but Andy's hurt with an ankle problem and has not yet returned from the dressing room, so it's Walt Schmetzer who is in goal. And for Juli Veee and for Hugo Perez, it's his 22nd point. He now leads all playoff scores in a major indoor soccer league. There's Walt Schmetzer. I'll tell you, Cleveland has given an all-out effort here tonight. And it would be a shame if they were to lose it with the way P.J. Johns has been playing in this one, but it's still not over yet anyway. 3:07 left to play. And Seamus, the strategy on the sixth attacker.
Yes, indeed. They've got some skill out there in Hoskevy and Allen and Valentine and Casamani, and one worker and defensive player in the form of Stolmeyer, but he can also score.
Back in the action, Kai Hoskevy with it.
And San Diego pressing, obviously wanting to win it early and put it in the empty net if they can.
Walt Schmetzer.
Oh, looking...
coming through. Right side of Casamani, 2:45 to go. Craig Allen pushing it long. Brian Quinn picked it off. Now to Clavijo, trying to split it. And a foul. Hoskevy says he was diving, but 5 fouls, and all of a sudden, we're even at fouls with 5. From out of nowhere. From out of nowhere, even with 5 fouls. Brian Quinn playing it up now to Karic with 2:33 to go. Karic, nice cut to the middle. Slows it down. Now comes back right side. Shot off the fingertips of Schmetzer. Watch out for Karic again. Left side, Hermes. The shot, he will score. And that may do it for San Diego as their bench explodes and comes out to greet Juan Hermes, who gets his 14th goal of the playoffs. And that will send some people to the exits here in Cleveland.
Well, a lot of credit to Karic on this goal, JP, who did not give the ball up and who weaved his way around, maintained possession, and eventually waited for the chance for Hermes, and Hermes took it beautifully and hammered it home. Boy, what a series, what an overall playoff series Hermes has had.
Yeah. Not as much in the championship series, but he was there tonight.
That's right. He's 2 goals tonight. Perez 2 goals tonight. And I think they're now within a point of each other on the scoring, as I recall.
Very close, yeah. Now it's Casamani. Hermes getting that last goal. Right side, Stolmeyer. Off the boards. Toth will collect it. Zoltan Toth up for Brian Quinn. That last goal by Hermes should have done it, but you never know. In indoor soccer anyway, as Crow comes back. One more, and I think you could probably turn the lights off, and Valentine will cut this one off. Karic, broken up, Valentine. Played back now to Casamani. Casamani on the left side to Hoskevy. Playing it up now to Carl Valentine. If the Sockers hold on and win this, with a minute 38 to go and a 2-goal lead, they should do it. We'll cover the championship celebration down below and in the dressing room with Seamus Mallet. Off the boards, Juli Veee up for Brian Quinn. Wad Hermes may be able to walk this one in. He'll get the hat trick. Wad Hermes will just bang it home for the 3-goal performance for Hermes. What a season he has had. It's going to be all over a 4-game sweep for the San Diego Sockers, despite the efforts of the Cleveland Force to do their darndest to come back into this one. We'll take another look. As soon as it's played off to Hermes, you can see that there's no way anyone's going to catch him, and he's going to take it down. He's not going to take a long shot from way downtown like that, even though the net is empty. Sometimes those are harder than they look. But here is again with Juli Veee to Quinn. Quinn on a quick feed. He gets another assist on the Hermes goal. He's looking back, one last look before he kicks it to see if anybody is even close to him. And at 13:38, Wad Hermes will score the goal. So there's a minute 22 left in the game. 7-4 now. San Diego up by 3. On the right side, John Stolmeyer. Battling off the boards, and it's cleared. All the way back. Casamani. Left side. Hoskevy. Back in the neutral zone for Casamani. A 7-4 lead for the Sockers. They will win their 6th championship in 7 years. To the right wing boards. Valentine. Allen. Right across. He wanted Hoskevy. Blocked by Ladouceur. And now it's Casamani. 44 seconds left in the game. Giving it up. P.J. Johns running through. Here's P.J. with a cut. Bumped down by Fernandez, and Johns hurting a bit. And that's a 6th foul. 6th foul there on San Diego as P.J. Johns continues to work just as hard as he possibly can. And P.J. Johns, off of a great performance, has to be our MetLife player of the game for the Cleveland Force. P.J. Johns, what a great game tonight. Magnificent. Probably has not looked better all game or all series than that sequence in which he stops Clavijo first and then Brian Quinn when the score was even at 4 apiece. But he has had a magnificent night and a great series as well. We salute P.J. Johns, the MetLife player of the game for Cleveland. We'll give you our San Diego one a bit later on as Hoskevy will put it in on a restart. We'll also have our League Championship Series MVP coming up later on, and the Dr. Pepper Unsung Hero Award also coming up during our post-game festivities. On the left side, it's Walt Schmetzer. A shot punched up there by Toth. When's it coming down? Toth heads it away. Now it's Casamani knocking it back. Hoskevy with 24 seconds left. Flicking it ahead. Mocalis with a block. Power play here for Cleveland. Because of that 6th foul, they have the 6th attacker on as well, so it's the super power play. Hoskevy along the boards against Mocalis, lifting it ahead. Allen turning with it. Right side wanted to pass. I thought the Strohmeyer was open, but it was blocked, and Hermes lifts it long. Over 3 lines, in fact. So it'll come back. All the way back to that first red line that it went over. That Hermes goal is 15th goal, as we see some of the Sockers celebrating, and I can't say prematurely. They've won this, obviously, and now it's only down to 4 seconds anyway. Hoskevy to Stolmeyer, or Allen, and it's blocked a second ago. That's it. And the crowd on hand here in Cleveland, standing and applauding the Force and the San Diego Sockers. A lot of people have already left for the exits, as is normal whenever there's a situation where a team is losing, but you expect in a series like this, or any series, be it the NHL or NBA, that fans will still stand up and applaud the good sportsmanship and the good skills that they saw, even though their team did not win. You can be sure if the Force won, it would be a much wilder celebration, but some very polite applause for both sides as the two teams shake hands down on the floor. We will be having, in just a little bit, our award ceremony presentations, which will include the commissioner of the Major Indoor Soccer League, Bill Kemling, presenting the championship trophy to the San Diego Sockers. We'll do that when we come back, but congratulations to Ron Newman and the San Diego Sockers, champions of indoor soccer for 6 times in the last 7 years. Congratulations to the dynasty. We'll be back. The Sockers win it by the score of 7-4, and they have won another championship. They sweep the Cleveland Force in 4. Let's take a look at our MetLife player of the game. A tough vote. Hugo Perez wins it with a couple of goals, and he had two very important goals, although Juan Hermez had a brilliant night. Last couple coming into an empty net, though. Let's go downstairs right now for the championship presentation. Right now, it's Commissioner Bill Kemlick at the microphone.
St. Louis to just turn around and present to San Diego team captain Fernando Clavijo the 10th anniversary 1988 Anheuser-Busch Championship Series medallion. Steve?
John Stolmeyer came out to get there.
I'd like to ask John Stolmeyer to accept on behalf of the Cleveland team the silver medallion.
I'd just like to thank all the fans that have supported us through this playoffs. You guys are our faithfuls. We'll be back next year. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to present the San Diego Managing General Partner, Ron Fowler, to come forward along with Ron Newman and again Fernando Clavijo and present them the Anheuser-Busch 1988 Championship Trophy.
Well, the San Diego Sockers have won the championship. We have with us upstairs Kai Hoskevy of the Cleveland Force on a headset. Kai Hoskevy, it looked like Cleveland was going to come back and actually do the job there, and then all of a sudden it was San Diego coming back and just being a bit too strong for the Cleveland Force.
I think it kind of summed up the whole series. You know, we had our chances, and I think both Perez's goals kind of summed it up. Both of them hit our guys and, you know, found their way to the goal. But, you know, we had, at least it felt for a while, felt pretty good for a while to have the momentum and the type of, we played the way we are capable of playing, but, you know, you got to give them credit. I mean, they didn't give us much room and they didn't let us play our game, and we thought we would have done better, but we didn't.
Kai, what was the difference in the turnaround for Cleveland in terms of them getting back in? At one point, you can't score goals, all of a sudden the goals are coming.
Well, we were just trying to throw everything at them, you know, just try to keep them under pressure and just go a bit more offensive-minded and take a lot of chances, and we left ourselves naked in the back, but it worked for a while. You know, then we had our chances in the power play, and I think that pretty much was the biggest difference compared to the Minnesota series. Our power play won us the Minnesota series. We were like 50%, and I don't think we probably were like 1-4-10 or 1-4-11 in this series. And, you know, I'd like to think this game was decided by one goal, and so 3 out of 4 games were one-goal games, and in none of those games we scored power play goals, so we had a chance to get the lead, but we didn't, you know.
You've seen all the great San Diego teams. Was this the best one that they've had, or do they have some better ones?
Well, they've got to be, you know, one of the best ones. When Steve Sungel played, I mean, he made a big difference, but at the same time, they played without Franco, who's you know, one of the brightest guys we've got in the league right now. So it just goes to show that they got a lot of depth. You know, Smetzer brother Brian wasn't playing, and so on. So they got a lot of depth, and plus they play the type of game this indoor soccer is all about. You know, they're sharp, they're quick, and they move all over the place.
Thanks very much for joining us, Kai. Congratulations on a fine series and getting this far.
Thanks, John.
Kai Hoskevy, our guest. Final score was 7-4 in favor of the San Diego Sockers, and it sounds like a recording, but they are champions once again of the Major Indoor Soccer League. They've won 6 out of the last 7. We'll be in the locker room when we return. Stay with us. Well, that graphic tells you that the San Diego Sockers won it in 4 straight games, and that's something that's never happened before in a Major Indoor Soccer League Championship Series. And look at the titles that this club has won. 83, 85, 86, 88. That was in the MISL. And you can fill in the other years with championships in the North American Soccer League. They never lost a playoff game in that league. Ron Newman's teams were 11 wins and no losses. So they've carried that no matter what league they've played in, and they've done well, and again, have won the championship. We would like to have for the final time this season our League's play of the game, and certainly the one we're going to go to is the one that puts the Sockers ahead to stay. After the Cleveland Force made the great comeback, Juli Veee will draw some attention here on the right wing side. Johns comes out, got a little piece that looked like out to Perez. He holds it, waits, looks at that net like all the good goal scorers. He's aware of everything. That P.J. Johns got a piece and knocked it in the upper corner. And Seamus Mallon, I thought, made a good point, and it's tough to go back and say it, but had P.J. Johns not gotten a piece of that, maybe John Stolmeyer would have, because he was right there at that goal line. That's our League's play of the game. And Hugo Perez celebrates in high fashion. That right strain on the hip flexor didn't seem to bother him on that. Right now, we're waiting to get into the San Diego Soccer's locker room area. Seamus Mallon will be doing some interviews. We'll talk with some of the key players and head coach Ron Newman, and we'll have the official presentation of the championship trophy in the locker room. Stay with us. We'll be coming back, and we'll show you some happy San Diego Sockers in just a couple of moments. The Sockers win it 7-4. They're the champions again. Sockers, the champions, 6 years out of the last 7. They have been MISL champions. It's been a very long season for the Major Indoor Soccer League. There were some high points and some low points during the course of the year. And it started actually in the first game when we lost Tattoo for the regular season with a very serious injury. And then we had the problems with the salary cap situation. I think that's one of the things that actually hurt the league's attendance in the end. Those were some of the negative things that have happened, and we still, as we leave the air tonight, are not sure about some of the other franchises returning. We're hearing some positive things out of St. Louis and out of Chicago and Wichita, and hopefully something good will happen with Minnesota, but a lot of great things have happened, too, in the Major Indoor Soccer League. The San Diego Sockers setting all kinds of records. We saw some great young American talent come to the forefront, and I think we'll see more of that. Some first-year players like David Doyle made an impact. John Stolmeyer making a major impact in his second season. A Cleveland Force team that took the gamble, let go of veterans through trades of Chris Vaccaro, Peter Ward, and Bernie James, and instead went with a youth movement. They called it Kai and the Kids, and they really came up and did a great job, because when all is said and done, and as Bart Wolstein said at yesterday's luncheon, he's damn proud of the Cleveland Force, because they are only 2 teams in the MISL Championship Series, and the Cleveland Force was one of them. And I give Bart and his crew a lot of credit. They were not blaming officials. They were not blaming anybody. And they were not, there was no reason to put any blame. What they were doing was praising the Cleveland Force, the players, the coaching staff, and saying with conviction that they will be back, and hopefully they will one day be a franchise like the San Diego Sockers in terms of going to all those championship series and then winning it. But for the Sockers, I'm not sure what could be said that hasn't already been said about San Diego, and I'll echo that too further by saying that a lot of people feel that with a salary cap and all that the Sockers next year it'll hurt them, that they can't keep everybody. But you know, Ron Newman just keeps finding these players. Karich is an example. Ketter is an example. Anyone could have had them, but Ron Newman was the one that happened to sign them. And they've got younger players like Tabrizi, who played on their reserve team, and they've also got Rennie Ortiz, who's just turned 19, that looks like a promising player. And oddly enough, both of these teams have had great success with their reserve team. San Diego's team plays in an actual league, and Cleveland for the last 6 years, 7 years, have had a reserve team that's produced players like DeFlorio, P.J. Johns, Hector Molinaro, now of Minnesota. So you could say a lot of positive things about both of those franchises, but in the end, it was this too much San Diego experience. 12 players that have been to a final, have been to a championship series, know what it's like. 2 players for Cleveland, Kitson and Kai Haskavy, and Kitson did not have a good first half of play.